o'clock in the morning. He was out on the streets just trying to relax. Well, there'll be no relaxing for him in this one. And if there's one advantage the Orioles have in that department, it is that they come into this ball game pretty free and loose about let's just play.
Well, again, you can be as loose and free, and I certainly am right with you on that page, because that's the way they played pretty much the month of September. But at the end of the day, you still have to pitch well and outscore the best offense in baseball.
Yep.
And what they did so well last night, even though it turned into a 1-1 victory, was early lead for Bedard, even though he didn't pitch well.
And a strike taken by Ellsbury, and we are underway. Jacoby Ellsbury's got a 12-game hit streak coming into the ball game. He's hit against the Orioles now in 35 consecutive games, and bearing down on a probable MVP award the way he has played this season for the Red Sox. .322 batting average coming into today's play. Alfredo Simon against him, 3 for 3 for Ellsbury. He'll put that one up in the air to short. Hardy is there in the outfield grass. I think it's really good for baseball, these fine games. Not so good for my stomach. It's exciting. You don't want to show up and play. You've got no pulse. My goodness, I can't remember being this nervous in a long time. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, I'm sure that he felt much more comfortable when he was playing, because when you're playing, it's about you. When you're managing, it's about them. And you hope them has a good game. Them has not had a good month.
7 wins and 19 losses for the Red Sox in September. Here is Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia comes in. He's got a 10-game hit streak. Pedroia against Simone has gone 0 for 3. These Red Sox hitters, for the most part, do not have many at-bats against the Orioles starter, Alfredo Simone. They haven't had many chances. He pitched against them on July 9 in the first start that he made for the Orioles this year. 3 runs, 8 hits, 4 and 2/3 innings in the ball game. He took the loss. 4-0 was the final in the game. Foul back by Pedroia.
And you would like to think, I mean, they have the scatter report in Alfredo. I'm sure they have about as much information as you could get on a pitcher, but again, we watch him all the time. We just don't know what we're going to see. We may see a guy that can command like he did in Minnesota and Kansas City. We may see a guy that can hold his stuff all the way into the 7th, 8th inning at 95, 96.
If the sinker's on, there'll be a lot of those. Davis, 2 down.
Take a look at the defense here for the Orioles. Raimo, Jones, Markakis, very fleet, good throwing outfield. Davis, Hardy should win a Gold Glove. I don't know if he will. Andino can pick it at second. Reynolds comfortable over at first, and Matt Wieters, another Gold Glove candidate behind the plate for the Orioles.
Nick Markakis with a magnificent catch in the ball game yesterday. As good as it gets, it would not be enough. The Orioles would end up losing by 1, but he's continued to shine in the outfield. Yeah, great arm, great glove.
We made a great point last night. Now that they're splitting it up, they're not just giving it to center fielders. Maybe he will finally be recognized for as good as he is. And you know that in the pregame, it all started with Greg on the mound and him making a leaping catch with the winning run about to score in Tampa Bay off of the bat of Ben Zobrist.
Here's David Ortiz, 2 down, nobody on. Ortiz is 0 for 4 against Simone, who gets the first 2 pitches in against him. Ortiz hitting .307, 6th best in the American League. Looks like Miguel Cabrera of the Detroit Tigers is going to win a batting title. He starts the day 5 points ahead of Michael Young and Adrian Gonzalez in the batting race of the American League.
37 for 87. Miguel Cabrera in the month of September.
Tigers are going to be a very dangerous postseason team. They are offensively what a lot of people thought they were going to be 3 years ago. 2 strike count on David Ortiz. Simone trying to retire the side in order. Fastball's inside.
Well, all I got to do is look at the radar gun. His first fastball was 97. That one was 102. Now, you think he's not ready to pitch? That doesn't mean he's going to pitch well. But he knows how important this game is to the Red Sox.
And for him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, he's trying to earn a job.
This is an audition.
Yep.
Not for him, but everybody else too.
1-2 last speed pitch. He was headed. He thought he had him on that one.
Well, he did. I mean, this ball, John Hirschbeck has a very big strike zone, but maybe he's nervous too. That is, you can't throw a curveball any better than that.
Ooh.
right down the middle, and he missed it.
Great pitch by Simone that should have ended it. So Ortiz will get the break. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Simone comes back with a heater that's going to get away inside, and a full count as it goes 3-2 on Ortiz.
Yeah, when you make those pitches, you want to get them, and obviously everybody knows that on the bench that was pretty much right down the middle. And again, if Ortiz gets on, you want to stay away from the multiple run innings against the Red Sox. And
Red Sox are back to grouping that middle of the order the way they've had it most of the year. 3-2 delivery, and he does walk him, so the pitch he didn't get results in a free pass to Ortiz with 2 down. Now you've got to face the cleanup batter in Gonzalez. You see the batting average leaders this season with Cabrera on top, then Young and Gonzalez tied for second. Victor Martinez of the Tigers, and then Jacoby Ellsbury of the Red Sox. So a battle at the top. Somebody's going to have to be very hot tonight, with Cabrera not so, in order to catch him. Adrian Gonzalez. They will play Reynolds behind the runner at first base with a lefty up there, and Ortiz the runner, and that is a strike by Simone.
Yeah, that is what Buck Showalter, Rick Adair, the pitching coach, if he can get his mechanics and his alignment and his posture to be able to throw that pitch, it can be lights out. 96 with great sink, down and away.
For Gonzalez, a 3-game hit streak. He's gone 2 for 6 in the first 2 games of the series. Up the middle, little roller, played to second. Nice play by Andino. Andino gets it to Hardy. Ortiz is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on base. The postseason is up for grabs on the final day of the 2011 season.
When all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you or whatever, and that's his job tonight. Role reversal. He just again, he's 1-3 in his last 4 starts. ERA close to 7 runs a game. That is not the John Lester the Orioles know. And again, tonight's scouting report is brought to you by AFCIA. Visit AFCIA.org, the Association for IT Pros.
Orioles 19-27 against left-handed starters on the year. Andino will go after the first pitch and foul it back. Andino in that leadoff spot. He's had good success in limited at bats against Lester, 4 for 7. Roberts certainly one of the most improved players on the season for the Orioles, and as it went along, he found himself more and more playing in that leadoff role for the Orioles without Brian Roberts. Fouled away, 0-2.
Well, I know there's one guy sitting on the bench, and that's what 93-95. That's Curt Young, his pitching coach, former left-handed guy, that's saying, I just hope he recognized, talked about this up in Boston, how good his stuff is. So again, go after him. When you get ahead like this, then you can throw the cutter, and then you can use your curveball and changeups, because he's got 3, really 4 excellent pitches.
He's lost his last 3 starts, 2 of those against Tampa Bay, 1 in Tampa Bay, 1 in Boston. Last outing against the Yankees, his worst of the year, 8 runs, 8 hits, 2 2/3 innings, as the Yankees shut out the Red Sox 8-0. That's why he's coming back on just 3 days rest in this game, because he pitched so little and so ineffectively against the Yankees. Timeout taken. 27-year-old left-hander. Strikeout ratio is 5th best in the American League. He strikes out 8.6 per 9 innings. He's got 177 strikeouts on the year, and he knows how important this start is for him and for his team.
But again, Mike Flanagan, in the words of the great Mike, hey, try easier, try him harder. He's not going to help you.
You got him, and there's a K.
And it's firm. I can't tell you how good a stuff this guy has, and when you get him almost 7 runs a game, it's amazing he only has 15 wins. Now, I know the bullpen struggled. Albers hadn't pitched well, Bard hasn't pitched well. So the setup guys to get to Papelbon, who's had a great year, but at the end of the day, they've got him a ton of runs.
That will bring up J.J. Hardy. Hardy's 2 for 8 in the series. He's got a 1 for 3 number going against Lester in the only times that he has faced him. You see the home runs by Orioles shortstop since '54 when the O's came to Baltimore. Cal on top with 34 and Miguel Tejada. Then Hardy with 29 and Cal again in the 2 spots below that. So Hardy right up there as far as the power numbers are concerned. 26 doubles along with the 29 home runs, 78 RBI. He'll punch that one down the line. If it's fair, it's in. It's fair, and it's in. Faced into the corner by J.D. Drew. Hardy's going to second base. He's got a double with 1 out.
Yeah, Lester makes you cover the outside corner. J.J. Hardy's a pull hitter. But when you throw that hard and you make the kind of pitch, you can see it looks like a two-seamer. It's away, and he just slices it. You can see right there, almost on the label. Didn't hit it well, but certainly located it well into the corner.
And our Jeep Exmo brought to you by the 2011 Jeep Compass. So the Orioles are going to get the first scoring chance of the ball game with a runner at second base and only 1 down. Nick Markakis has struggled against Lester, a .220 hitter with a good number of at-bats. Nick comes in with an 8-game hit streak. They'll hold the runner close. Scudero at second base. The shortstop moving in behind Hardy. Markakis will foul it away. Nick is hitting .263 off lefties this year, .294 off right-handers. The Red Sox, as we've mentioned during this month of September, one of the problems they've had, falling behind in ball games and having to battle back. The Orioles would love to get that on the board early and start that process anew against Boston.
And the Yankees have already scored 1. So they lead the Rays 1-0.
0-1 delivery on the way, and that's going to catch the inside corner, and a 2-strike count on Markakis. Talking, of course, about Prince Fielder, the free agent, much discussed regarding the Orioles, whether or not he would come here, whether or not the Orioles will go after him.
Can he pitch?
No, but he sure can hit him.
Yes, he can.
0-2 count, the high set Lester uses. Markakis will take it, and he's called out. He didn't like either of the last 2 calls.
Well, Simone doesn't get the pitch. This one, again, Hirschbeck has always had a wide strike zone. We'll see how it plays out tonight. It's pretty much right at the knees, borderline, maybe low, but certainly has the plate. Again, when Barnway brings it up that much, you usually don't get it. But again, Hirschbeck's a pitcher's umpire, if you can take advantage of it. That's a big if.
So Vladimir Guerrero with 2 down will stand in. The designated hitter for the Orioles is 5 for 19 with a homer off Lester. Hardy at second base gets a big secondary lead. They do not want to squeeze the middle. That'll go towards third base, handled on the hop. Avila's playing there, and will get the out. So the Orioles cannot take advantage of the 1-out double by Hardy. 1 complete in the final game of this season. No score. Big walk-up crowd coming in tonight. I mean, it's a beautiful night for baseball, and obviously with all the surrounding media coverage on this, it is vital. And if we've had 2 great games here, and the first 2 games split by these 2 teams with a playoff atmosphere in each.
And you saw the Yaley with his T-shirt coming to see the Yaley at home plate.
Barnway making some baseball history in his first start as a catcher. He hit 2 home runs in the ball game last night. Put in because the 2 catchers ahead of him are injured. Veritek with a bad knee. Only in emergency would he play. Saltalamacchia with a collarbone bruise can play. Right back to Simon. Simone makes the play, and he's got it.
Simon says they hit that sinker on the ground back to me.
He's got it working early in the ball game. He's getting him on top of it.
I just look at his windup. You know, I still think he could do pretty much anything he wants. He'd be a great guy to set up at throwing 96, 97. I was talking to him the other day in Detroit. I said, you know, you remember Jose Mesa? Phil Regan changed him from the starting pitcher to a 2-seam closer, and he was lights out. And he's got that kind of stuff. I still think he has 4 good enough pitches to be able to start. He holds runners pretty well.
J.D. Drew, a couple of hits and 6 at bats in the series. Drew will take it, and it will miss down low. Obviously, for both of these teams, but especially for the Orioles, the entire staff is available. This is it.
Yep.
You do whatever you got to do to win, whatever matchup may become necessary. And the Red Sox have to do the same thing. They'll worry about tomorrow. That's going to be a base hit in front of Markakis as Drew is on with a 1-out single, and there's the first hit for Boston. Pitching against the East for anybody is not easy. For Simone, you take a look at the starts he's had against the American League East and against all others.
Yeah, totally different. And again, the other than the Rangers, the best offensive teams come out of the American League East. The Tigers up there, they're fourth. Toronto fifth. But Red Sox, Yankees. Last year it was Tampa Bay, but they lost 3 key players.
Fans getting into it. Here's Marco Scudero bunting and fouls it off at the plate. Bunting with 1 away. Scudero's got a 5-game hit streak. He's been among the hottest hitters on this Red Sox team in the month of September, when they've really needed to have people like Scudero come through. He's hitting .382 in September with 2 home runs. Others have not been that solid, although it's not been the hitting, it's been the pitching.
It really has, especially the starting
September.
Pitching. Yeah. He's hitting 31 out of 40. And again, last night, one of the 4 home runs they hit, a 2-run shot, really made the difference, or helped make the difference.
The 0-1 delivery to him, and that's going to be popped up in the air. Shortstop again.
See, when you throw 96, Gary, you can get away with hanging curveballs sometimes. I don't mean make a habit of it, but again, you're looking down. You know when you're throwing in the mid-90 range that you better get it going. So he just misses a high curveball. It was actually out of the strike zone.
So J.D. Dew remains at first base. Now there are 2 down, and Carl Crawford. Crawford's had only 1 hit in 9 at-bats in this series. He's hitting only .239 against the Orioles this year. Drew with a short lead at first base being held, and the fastball is there for a strike. And it's got a little extra mustard on it.
Well, when he stays behind it and he doesn't get like a merry-go-round around everything, and more like a Ferris wheel, he stays on line really well. You know, Drew did what he always does. If he works the count in his favor, gets a good pitch to hit.
Breaking ball that he didn't get on top of, and a 1-ball 1-strike count on Crawford.
Yeah, he torched a triple. A line drive over Marquez' head last night, and then hustled it into a triple.
For Simone, only 1 career start against Boston, the one we mentioned back on July 9, where he did take the loss. Here at Camden Yards, his record is 1-4. This is the 9th start he's had here in his career. Down the line the other way, Reimold with the long run won't matter. It's in the seats. And a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Boy, this could be one of those classic games, even though when the Red Sox average over 5 runs on the road, 5.7 at home, where maybe one pitch, do you get the first guy out? Do you make the play? Can you maybe get lucky with an extra base hit? Can you get the clutch hit? All those things factor in. They factor in all year long, but for the Red Sox, it's come down to 1 game.
Crawford waiting on the 1-2 delivery, and he'll take that one in the air. It's playable. Reimold is over and under. He's got it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. Bottom of the 2nd. Wieters, Jones, and Reynolds do up for the O's. Marquez got his 30th double on Monday, the 8th player, and only the 8th to have 30 or more doubles in each of the last 5 years. No score going to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. It will be Matt Wieters. Matt's coming in with a 9-game hit streak, and he's been tearing the cover off the ball, hitting it hard here in the final month of September. Lester's delivery to him will be fouled straight back. Talked about in our pregame show the improvement. See, the home runs have doubled, and he's had a nice easy swing about him when he does it.
Yeah, even much more so probably from this side. He'd probably get 3-1 at bats hitting left-handed, but 350 with good numbers against Lester. What, 8 for 23? Yeah, they hit a home run, but a nice little sampling
for Wieters this year. And you look at the right numbers, 350, left-handed 235, 11 and 11 on the home runs. Lester just bore that one in on him, and a 1-ball 2-strike count on Wieters. Lester, if he's on, will be efficient, even though he'll strike out a lot of hitters. There won't be many walks, and he'll tend to get ahead and keep right on going. 1-2 delivery to Waiters, and that's going to be fouled off.
Yeah, there's the changeup. So he's seen the fastball. I don't even think he's thrown a curveball, but he saw 3 of his pitches. And that was a good changeup. Matt able to foul it off to stay alive. He's got as good a stuff as CC Sabathia, and his winning percentage proves it. Again, this year maybe not a vintage year. ERA up a little bit.
Waiters 1-2. That is a foul ball. Pretty amazing that Lester, his career record is 76 wins and 34 losses. That is the best winning percentage for a left-hander ever. Now that's going to change for better or worse. He's 27, so he's got a few starts hopefully in front of him. But right now the best winning percentage for a left-hander ever in Major League Baseball. 1-2 delivery is in the air to right field. J.D. Drew's backing up. Drew's got room. The media cast their ballots for the most outstanding Oriole on the season, and the MV Oriole is Adam Jones, recognized tonight in the ceremonies on the field, and certainly an outstanding year for him, both defensively and offensively for Adam Jones, and another year of growth as he continues a steady climb.
Well, that's what he talked about. He also said that there were a number of other players, J.J. Hardy specifically, that could have garnered the award.
Lester will slip on that one. Jones 7 for 32 lifetime off Lester. Adams come aboard against the Red Sox this year with a .345 batting average, 3 homers and 9 RBIs against the Red Sox. He has played in all 17 games against them. There is Hardy, who's certainly got a lot of consideration for the most valuable Oriole. 1-1.
Yeah, that cut fastball hard to keep fair without breaking a bat. The cutter, you have a little more pressure on your middle finger, and if you're left-handed and throwing to a right-hander like Lester is to Jones, you start it on the inside corner. You don't really see the spin, and it just keeps coming at your back leg. And then, of course, he can throw 96 on the outside corner. That's why he is such a good pitcher.
And then tails one away in the off-speed pitch. Not fair.
Yeah, in on your hands, and then here's the 87, 88 mile per hour changeup, and it's thrown perfectly down and away.
Adam 240 off lefties, 295 off right-handers this year for Adam Jones. The 1-2 delivery on the way, and that ball towards the middle, knocked down, Scooterell, not in time. Adam Jones has got an infield single.
Another good pitch, but bad result because Adam cuts his swing down. We've seen that the last couple of years. You can see him out on his front foot. Great range by Marco. But again, the speed is going to get him the base hit. Not too many shortstop catch this ball. Not the quickest infield here at Camden Yards compared to some of the other infields we've seen. Boston as an example.
Second hit for the Orioles. One down, Mark Reynolds. Mark is looking for his first hit in the series. He's had an 0 for 5. He leads the Orioles in the month of September in home runs with 6. One behind Wieters, I'm sorry. Matt's got 7. He's got 6. Even though for Reynolds batting only 192 in the month.
Now you're hoping if you're the Orioles he'll run into one. 195 strikeouts. So maybe for the first time in recent history, the last 3 years, he's going to just be a little bit under it. So he never thinks about it. He just thinks about hitting the ball hard.
One delivery to him,
and he has done that.
And you're not going to hit that one very far.
Well, the problem, if you face a guy like John Lester, you just don't, unless he makes a drastic mistake, get a ball in the middle of the plate. He reminds me in my era, Mickey Lolich. You know, Lolich pitched 376 innings. Back-to-back game against the Orioles. Real good hitting Oriole team. Maybe 2 pitches in the middle of the plate. That's how good Lolich was. Lester can do the same.
Reynolds 0 for 5 lifetime off Lester. And the pitch will be taken up high for a ball. Lester surrenders the long ball to the right-handers if he's going to at all. 16 home runs, 16 out of 19 have been hit by right-handers. Right-handers hit 244 off him. Left-handers only 210. Adam Jones at first base. Decent lead being held by Gonzalez. Reynolds slow roller to third base. Relay Pedroia. Oh, what a major league double play that was. A low throw to second handled by Pedroia and then got rid of it in a hurry in order to get it over to Gonzalez. He had to go down and dig that out and then get over the runner. Barry Thorne, Jim Palmer on this gorgeous summer night here on the 28th of September, the final day of this regular season around Major League Baseball. Number of teams finished up their games this afternoon. Yankees have the 1-0 lead over Tampa Bay. First inning, unearned run scored as Cano's grounder bobbled at second, and Granderson scored for the only run so far in that ball game. Did he go around? They check at first, and no. Scott Berry. Aviles getting the start at third base and started that double play in that last inning. Simone with the 1-0 delivery to him. Aviles will go after it and not catch up to it. 1-1.
Yeah, pretty good substitute for Kevin Youkilis, who is not able to play because he can run a little bit. He's got power, pull hitter, wearing out lefties.
Here's the 1-1 delivery to him inside, driving Uke and himself and everybody else crazy, not able to play. He just yearns to be competitive.
It is not easy to be injured when they need you.
But he just cannot get out on the field. 2-1 delivery. Aviles will pop that one up. Readers will take a look, and it'll end up in the seats. Shirt sleeve crowd on hand here tonight, hoping this is as good as the first two games of this series have been. Simone with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. And Aviles will take the pitch away for a ball.
Well, again, remember, how do you get the first guy out? That's half the time, almost like 49% of the time, the first batter gets on, especially when you're getting back with Ellsbury and the rest of the top of the order. The runner scores.
Aviles is on with a free pass. The second surrendered by Simon. This one is a leadoff walk. Third inning. Get ready for the 20th anniversary season of Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Make your deposit for the 2012 full or partial season plan. Great access. Biggest and best benefits package, the orange carpet program. To save on individual tickets, no ticketing fees, guarantee your access to opening day. 888-848-BIRD, Orioles.com. Ellsbury popped out his first time up.
Yeah, you never want to walk the guy in front of a guy that's leading in total bases and extra base hits in the American League. It's not a good idea.
Ellsbury will have to wait as the runner gets back to first base. Hitting .413 against the Orioles. 5 home runs and 13 RBIs this year for Jacoby Ellsbury against the O's. And continues the longest streak ever against the Orioles by an individual opponent. 35 consecutive games with a hit. Pitch will be taken inside for a ball.
8 home runs in September, 7 in August, 8 in July. He became a bona fide power hitter the last 3 months of 2011.
He's had as much as a 19-game hit streak this season. He's got a 12-game hit streak coming into this. Runner goes, hit and run on, and it is fouled off. Ellsbury trying to find a way to drive that ball on the right side as Aviles was running, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, the whole theory of starting the runner is somebody's got to cover. And in this case, it was J.J. Hardy. You try to hold your position as long as you can as a middle infielder, but somebody has to eventually cover the bag. And again, Aviles, 4 out of 5 with the Red Sox, 14 out of 17 on the year.
One ball, 1-strike delivery taken, and will just miss outside. Simone again looking in, hoping to get a call. He did not, and a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Ellsbury. Alfredo Simone coming off that start against Detroit. 3 runs, 6 hits over 8 innings, tying a career high in innings pitched in that ball game against the Tigers. 2-1 delivery, runner not going, and that's going to be a base hit into left field. I'm rolled up with it, and the first two are on to the Red Sox in the third inning.
Well, that's what they do. They adjust real well. Of course, Ellsbury, he can hit the ball out. He can hit it to left. We've seen that really all season long. And, you know, he just gets the pitch, and just as he did in both of the games here, drives it to left field. The only good news for Simone, he didn't run the count to 3-2. Aviles wasn't running, so the double play still in order.
Dustin Pedroia grounded out his first time up. 2 hits on the board for the Red Sox. Pedroia with runners in scoring position this year, very effective, hitting .307. Simone's delivery to him, that's going to be to the hole. That's going to be a base hit. Jones charging. Here comes Aviles. He'll score. Pedroia gets the RBI, and the Red Sox have a 1-0 lead.
Well, the Orioles skipper Buck Showalter saying this is one of the best high ball hitters in baseball. And that's exactly what he gets. Look at him stay inside. In other words, doesn't go around the ball. Drives it back up the middle. Aviles with great speed is going to easily score. You can see Tim Bogart, their third base coach, waving him in.
Pedroia gets his 90th run batted in to go along with 101 runs that he has scored this year. Now first and second, still nobody out. A walk and 2 singles in the third inning for Boston. David Ortiz drew one of the 2 walks surrendered by Simone.
Well, again, stay away from the multi-run innings, and it's not easy to do against the Sox. That's how good they are.
Ortiz .291 with runners in scoring position. Big comeback season, 96 RBIs for David Ortiz. Orioles will play for 2, partial shift on, as they've got to keep Hardy closer to second with a runner there. That is up high, 1 ball, 1 strike. The most 30 home run seasons for the Red Sox. Ted Williams the record. David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez with 6. Then XX Jimmy Fox, Jim Rice, and Mo Vaughn. Ortiz has got 29 so far, and only 1 in the month of September. Here's the 1-1 delivery to him. Nubbed foul.
Yeah, part of the art of starting is can you get a hitter out more than one way? And of course, if you can only throw the sinker and it stops sinking. So when Simone's on his game, he's got the splitter, which is the pitch that Ortiz just fouled off. But otherwise, pretty much look fastball. He'll throw his other pitches, but at this point in his career, even though he's 30, he doesn't always make great pitches with his secondary pitches, where his counterpart Lester can get you out 4 or 5 different ways, and he can do it all the way through 3 or 4 at bats.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery to Ortiz. That will be a souvenir on this final day. Back into the seats. Ortiz looking for his first hit off Simone, as he is 0 for 4 in the chances he's had against him. National League battle wild card going on. Philly and Atlanta, they are tied 1-1 third inning. Atlanta and the Cardinals tied for that wild card. The Cardinals will be getting underway in about 20 minutes as they are playing in Houston. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Ortiz check swing ground ball. There's one. Relay to first. And they got the double play. Davis to Andino to Reynolds on the check swing by Ortiz, with Ellsbury stopping at third.
Yeah, just think, if there's not runners on, you're not playing here. It's an easy double play. All you have to do is make a good throw, get it to Hardy. He makes a good throw, and on one swing of the bat, you get 2 outs.
And with the Orioles turning 2, congratulations to Patricia Hall from Deal. You've won $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery Double Play Contest. The intentional pass now will be surrendered to Gonzalez, with Lavarnway 2 home runs or not. He's the rookie, and Gonzalez is one of the game's best hitters. It'll put runners on at first and third with 2 down.
Yeah, this is just fundamentally sound baseball here. They did it last night. Lowry hit the first pitch to left. And, or should I say it's the night before. Well, again, you cannot pitch to Gonzalez in this situation. Doesn't mean he can't get a base hit or hit another home run, but it's just a high percentage move. That's how good Adrian Gonzalez is.
First and third and 2 down. Joe Walter with a decision here. Go after the rookie. Lavarnway, 24 years old. Last night, third player in Major League history to have multi-homer games in his first start behind the plate. J.P. Arancibia did it with the Blue Jays in 2010, actually, and Bobby Field did it prior to that back in '71. 2 down. Is there magic left in the bat for this game? Lavarnway first and third, 2 away. And the pitch will miss up high for a ball.
Well, if he hits one here, they may just have a parade tomorrow for him. I'm not going to wait till any more games.
Start at Yale and just come down to
move on. Yep.
Simone would like to end that magic right here. Ellsbury at third base. Gonzalez on at first, and the pitch will be inside for a ball.
So he's worked the count into a hitter's count for a young hitter. 290 hitter, 23 doubles, 32 home runs, and that was he started at AA Portland, finished at their AAA affiliate. And to speak of Yale, Tom Yawkey, longtime owner, went to Yale.
2-0 delivery. Lavarnway will take that one. It is in there for a strike. Mark Teixeira has just hit a grand slam home run, and the Yankees have a 5-0 lead over Tampa Bay.
Well, David Price, after going 19-6 this year, has really struggled.
2-1 delivery on the way. Foul back. Came inside a bit on him, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, probably a year or two from now he'll take that pitch and hit 3-1, but chased it.
Matt Wieters out with the signs here, as Reynolds will play behind Gonzalez on a 2-ball, 2-strike count, 2 down. Ellsbury at third, and Gonzalez at first base. You see Reynolds behind him. You do not want to give him that extra hole between first and second base. Simone, and a timeout taken at the plate. Yankees were scheduled to start one of their young rookie phenom pitchers in that game tonight. And I think Matanzas indeed did start the ball game for them.
I haven't even heard his name. I've heard the young lefty that was at Trenton last year.
Joe Girardi said, "I'm resting my starters," and Terry Francona said, "I'd do the same thing." Yep. He's earned the right to do that. He doesn't have to go out there with his best stuff, whether we're battling for the playoff spot or not. Lavarnway 2-2, runner goes at first, and that's going to be fouled off just a piece.
And then I think Terry in the same breath said, make sure you start Teixeira.
Yes, which he did.
Now that he hit a grand slam. They played again a very presentable lineup last night. Derek Jeter got the night off.
Jeter playing tonight. He was on base for the grand slam. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Tampa Bay and the Red Sox tied for the wild card. Playoff game would be tomorrow at 4 if needed. National League game if they need a playoff with Atlanta and the Cardinals. That would be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. All depending on the outcomes of tonight's games. Runner goes, and the off-speed pitch gets him. Simone gets his first strikeout and survives, surrendering only the 1 run. Pedroia the RBI. Red Sox lead 1-0. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer here at Camden Yards to wrap up this 2011 season. The Orioles will either have 68 or 69 wins, either 2 or 3 more than they had last year. Chris Davis trying to earn a spot for another year, as Davis will stand in. He's had a very good series, 4 for 8, and he's hit left-handers well this year, 359 off lefties. However, he's 0 for 9 off Lester.
And if he's going to get a ball 2 inches off the outside corner like Hirschbeck just called, he might be 0 for 10.
Yes. Pretty good chance.
Yep.
Here's the 0-1 delivery to him. Breaking ball will miss.
And again, friends of John Hirschbeck, he's a very good umpire. He's very consistent. He's always had a pitcher's strike zone.
1-1 delivery on the way.
Yeah, there's a changeup. So it's just, again, so we've already seen a cutter, fastball. He's got a curveball. But boy, is he good. When he came up, though, he just couldn't throw enough strikes to get really in past the 6th inning.
Davis thought about it. Pitch was way outside. He tags him, but he did not go around. Wally Bell down at third base saying no.
You know, Wally had a pretty wide strike zone for both teams last night. This is what Wally's looking at. Nope.
Good
Got
call.
it right. Yep. Very much so.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Davis. He'll take it down to first. That will be foul. I guess fortunately for the Orioles, they've only had to face Lester once this year, and that was all the way back on the 28th of April. He worked 8 innings, gave up only 2 runs on 4 hits in that game, and the Orioles have not seen him since.
Yeah, all Terry Francona wants him to do is to get into the 7th or 8th inning tonight and take his chances with Papelbon.
The Orioles, the starters for the Red Sox have been the downfall here in the month of September. Their ERA is 7.28. The starter ERA in September. And Lester in his last 4 starts, 6.97 is his ERA, and he has a 1-3 record in those 4 starts. 3 ball, 2 strike count on Davis.
4, 4, and 8 in the last 3 starts. And that's unusual for him.
Here's the 3-2 delivery on the way, and Davis will let it go, and it's ball 4. Ball skips back. LeVarn will come back to get it, and the Orioles get the leadoff man on here in the 3rd inning. It was a walk that resulted in the run. Aviles got it in the 3rd for the Red Sox with a leadoff walk. So the Orioles will try and reciprocate here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. For every Orioles walk this season, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield will contribute $50 to the Living Classroom Foundation. 449 walks, $22,450. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a more active and healthier lifestyle. Here's Nolan Reimold. Speaking of a more happy and healthier lifestyle, Dan Giljam and his son came up as we finally were able to spread around the good news about Grape Nut ice cream. And thank you to his wife, who made the batch last night. And they brought in 2 wonderful big bowls of it that we were able to give out to crew members and some of the security people and everybody who had never tasted Grape Nut ice cream before. It was delicious.
For breakfast and then a little early supper.
Exactly.
Sorry, Gary, we can't do the pregame tonight because your ice cream has arrived. That was great.
And we stopped. If it's ice cream, you stop what you're doing and get to it. Nolan Reimold down to 3rd base. That's a fair ball. Nice play, Aviles. Whoa!
Did he stay on?
Pedroia at second base having a short hop one to get the out.
Yeah, he saves a possible 1st and 3rd situation, or maybe even 2nd and 3rd with Reimold's speed. And again, see, he goes back, he goes across. It's kind of a tough route for a grounder, and then bailed out by his Gold Glove second baseman.
Aviles has had a couple of not particularly good throws made that Pedroia has turned into an out, in this case in a double play the time before. So Reimold now is on at first base, reaching on the fielder's choice. Top of the order, here's Andino. Struck out his first time up. Breaking ball. He is going to miss. Ball 1. Well, this game is starting just as the other two have in this series. Grinded out tough baseball. Just exactly what you would expect and hope for. Unless you're Terry Francona or Buck Showalter, you'd like to see a blowout for your side, but that hasn't happened in the first two games. 1-0 count on Andino. Reimold not going anywhere. Andino, the roller. This will be a tough play. Aviles up in the hop, and he's got it. 2 down. Reimold down to second base. Never too early to start thinking about spring. 941-893-6300. Put your name in for the 2012 Orioles spring training mailing list. You get ticket, travel information. Maybe get down there to beautiful Sarasota next spring. New Ed Smith Stadium. Spring training information all yours. Get on the list. 941-893-6300. If I have to explain this, you shouldn't be watching.
Where is he sitting? Oh no, there's
well,
the other.
Alone for one thing.
Well, there's the other. Yeah, right. You can't sit too close to those antlers.
Hey, buddy, nice antlers. Here's J.J. Hardy, runner at second base. Hardy in the air, left field. That ball is way back. Goodbye, home run. The Orioles lead it. 2-1.
Well, there's your number 30th home run. He joins Tejada and Cal Ripken Jr. Like I said, you very rarely get balls in the middle of the plate, but if you do it to J.J. Hardy, it's going to be out of here. He just gets a cutter that he clobbers.
15 at home and 15 on the road for J.J. Hardy. Joining a very special tandem. Robinson, Powell, Powell and Frank, Sheets and Murray, Anderson, Palmeiro, and Reynolds and Hardy. With 30 home run seasons as teammates for the Orioles. Boy, a very upset Nick Markakis. There's Hardy celebrating. Nick had a called strike on him, and he just went right back to John Hirschbeck and talked to him. He got called out on strikes his first time up. Didn't like either of the 2 strikes that were called. This one fouled back 0-2. So that will be the 20th home run surrendered by Lester, and 17 of them have hit by right-handers. And J.J. Hardy continues his magnificent year as he's 2 for 2 in the ball game, and the Orioles have the 2-1 lead. And it came with 2 down. Markakis will take the breaking ball away.
Yeah, I think just Nick let John Hirschbeck just make it be a strike. You know, again, he very rarely ever says anything, and I know Hirschbeck knows that. Every umpire knows that. He doesn't need any help. I'm sure he might have told him that.
1-2 fastball will be taken up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Home runs galore. These two teams have hit them this year against one another. The Orioles now have 20 home runs against the Red Sox, and the Red Sox have 27 home runs against the Orioles. It has been a slugfest. 2-2 delivery. Breaking ball that didn't. You saw him hitch on that, waiting for the ball to move. It just kept coming in on him. 3-2.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll overthrow a curveball and all it does is spin, and almost it actually backs up. It just keeps spinning. You're anticipating it heading for the plate, and it doesn't.
3 ball, 2 strike count. Nick with a great 3.2 average there at 333. However, this time Lester will get him. That is the 3rd strikeout, but the Orioles have taken the lead against Lester with 2 down. J.J. Hardy delivers the home run. Reimold ahead of him.
Cabrera's had a terrific year, but again, Aparicio, Belanger, Hall of Fame, 8 Gold Gloves, Cal, Hall of Famer, shortstop. He is. I mean, he's really that good. He's just had one of those. I mean, it's hard to describe how good he's been.
Because it was so in part unexpected, I think. because he played last year injured, had to have a comeback season this year, and has come all the way back and even beyond that to have career numbers. So Simone's got the lead 2-1 as we go to the fourth inning. J.D. Drew a single his first time up. Drew towards short. Hardy. One away. Our Suzuki game flow. Autos all-wheel drive lineup. Suzuki, the power of engineering. Pedroia's had an RBI single, putting a run up for the Red Sox, and Hardy answered with a 2 RBI homer. Lester and Simone doing battle on the mound.
Yeah, for Alfredo, it all turned around when they got the walk and 2 hits, and he was able to get Ortiz to bounce into the double play. I mean, at least to this point, it allowed him to stay away from the big inning.
Marco Scutaro will back away, but it's a strike. Scutaro popped out his first time up.
Yeah, he has shown the Red Sox what kind of player he is when he's healthy. He had a nerve condition and up in his neck last year. Really trouble hitting, trouble throwing. Yeah, he's an awful solid player.
Scutaro here in this ballpark has hit .323 in his career. This is the 43rd game that he's played here. 4 home runs at Camden Yards. A 2-strike count from Simone. And that will wend its way outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One of the amazing things to me about Wieters is that throughout this final month, he has moved as effortlessly in the final month as he has all year. I mean, he really looks like he stayed in great shape the entire season.
Yeah, I think he learned that lesson last year. He needed to get bigger and stronger.
And he's been able to continue to make the plays, block the balls, make the throws, get up, get away, get that throw away in a hurry. There's very little has changed from what he does behind the plate and at it from April to September.
Yeah, it kind of takes you back to 2009 when he streaked the last month. You know, hit more home runs, average got up in the 280 range. So again, that's really part of the process, especially when you catch. It is such an arduous job to do it under these conditions in this weather. It's not, I mean, obviously New York, Philadelphia, and a lot of the cities in the East get the high humidity, the high temperature. And when you catch, it is not easy, but it is the most difficult defensive position on the field.
2 ball, 2 strike count to Marco Scutaro. Wieters has seen a lot of arms out there releasing the ball his way this year. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Scutaro back. Yeah, we talked about it a lot last year. We haven't so much this year, but once again the Oriole bullpen has thrown more innings than anybody else. 561 innings from the Orioles bullpen. That has got to change. It's all about starters' ability to stay in the game. You cannot win games when your bullpen's throwing that many innings, no matter how good they are. It's just too much.
And there's a pitching coach, and Rick Adair knows that.
2-2 delivery, and that is going to be a fair ball. Reimold will have to chase into the corner. Scutaro is on his way to second base, a 1-out double.
How quickly did he get to that ball? Last night, the hanging slider off of Birkin for a 2-run home run. Tonight, I mean, look, they come in, but look, the target's down. Terrific high ball hitter. Watch him get the bat head. Just watch the bat head to the ball. That is what those hitting drills are all about. You do one-arm drills with your front side. And that's the big difference in the game that I see. A lot of hitters in the old day would hit that ball foul because it's in. But he just gets to it, stays inside of it, and there's your tying run.
Carl Crawford flied out to left field his first time up. Lefties righties have hit Simone this year almost exactly the same. 281 lefties, 284 righties. 8 home runs hit by righties, 6 by lefties. There hasn't been much difference either in the home run output or the average. Barry Francona has not sat, I don't think, for one batter in the 3-game series here. He's had that position at the near end of the dugout staked out. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Crawford way up high. Wieters had to haul that one in.
Yeah, it almost, again, if you're not 6'5", that ball's over your head. You had to go from the first floor to about the 5th. Flag that one down.
Simone has thrown a couple of wild pitches and hit 4 batters. in the 115 innings he's worked this year.
Well, that's how he started the last start in Detroit. He plunked Austin Jackson with the first pitch, and then Cabrera would hit the home run.
Here's the 1-1 delivery in the way. Crawford rips it foul.
Yeah, his two best pitches are his fastball and the splitter. And right there, after he hangs that curveball and Crawford almost kills somebody in the seats. What do you want to do? Yeah, he can get away with it more to right-handers, but even when you throw it a lot, and the hitters, and I know the Red Sox do this with Dave Magadan as their hitting coach, they have a pretty good idea. They look at film. Kurt Suzuki did it, hit a couple of home runs off of Alfredo up in Oakland, which he didn't get it in good spots.
Ellsbury watching with a towel around his neck. That ball is also going to be pulled foul. So Crawford with a 1-ball 2-strike count, trying to put one fair. He's gone just 1 for 10 in this series. Over the years, he's been very tough against the Orioles, a 300 hitter. Lifetime against O's pitching. That is down a little bit this year, as is all of his offensive numbers overall. Scudero at second base. Simone 1-2 delivery. Crawford will ground it to short. Hardy's got it.
He wasn't running.
He took a look at third base, and in doing so, Crawford with that speed had a chance to beat that out, but he didn't.
Yeah, I'm not really sure that maybe he didn't back off a little bit thinking it's routine, but watch this right there, and again, he's not full out. Yeah, right there, he coasts, and it does make a difference. And boy, you can never assume you're going to be out, because if he goes all the way as hard as he came out of the box, I'm not sure if that's not bang bang and he beats it.
Now runner at third base, and there are 2 down. Avila swinging at one. He drew a walk his first time up. For Avila's coming over to the Red Sox to fill in that spot at third base. This is going to be for him game number 38 in Boston. He's hit .327 with the Red Sox with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. The 0-1 delivery to him. He didn't intend. It's a foul ball.
Yeah, and he's done a nice job with runners in scoring position. Close to 300 to 294. He's a dead red fastball hitter. And if you can get the ball in the outside quarter of the plate, you're probably going to get him out. And if you don't, he hangs in there pretty well. He's a kind of a miniature version of J.J. Hardy.
Came over from the Kansas City Royals. Starting at third base tonight. Here's the 0-2 delivery to him, and a little overthrown maybe, as Simone wanted to get him 1-2.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get into the merry-go-round windup. You just pull across the plate instead of throw it to the outside corner.
Yankees still with a 5-0 lead over Tampa Bay in their third inning. Orioles lead here for the moment. Big run down the line, and he knocked him in. Scudero is jumping back and forth, and a balk is called on Simone.
I'm looking down at him. It happened to me with Bert Campaneris. Even though I didn't balk, they called it. That's why you always take a stretch. Now watch. Does he move anything? Now watch him move. Okay, we got to go back to the pitch. But again, I'm watching him jump, and I'm thinking, boy, he's got to step off. And I don't know. It's hard to tell from there. And he's pointing at it. And meanwhile, John Hirschbeck has awarded him the tying run at the plate.
Down to third. It'll be a base hit. Davis let that one go over his arm. Aviles is on. Ball game is now tied at 2-2 on the balk call that brings Scudero in to score.
All you have to do to take that away, whether you balk or not, is go into the stretch position. Again, reliever turn starter. So again, when you come to a set position, watch him put his hands. Now, I'm not really sure that he balked. It's almost, well, of course, it wasn't imperceptible to John Hirschbeck. But again, you can bet the ranch here that Aviles is going to try to steal. Because again, that's a momentum shifter. Now they would have scored the run anyway. Maybe Chris Davis would have played the ball a little bit different. But you got to let it go and move on. And of course, they're going to try to get on the board any way they can. And Aviles can run.
Jacoby Ellsbury at the top of the order. He has single, popped out, 13-game hit streak for him. There are 2 down. Red Sox have come back to tie it up in the 4th inning. And Aviles having to dive back in. Again, a look on the balk call.
So watch his hands. Well, I mean, again, he really didn't seem to start his windup. But again, that's why you take the stretch. When you're stretch, you can step off, you can step over, you can do all those things. All I had to do is have it called on me one time. You can't argue it. That's why he scored. And so you just change. A lesson to be learned. And a big lesson for the Red Sox.
Yeah. Aviles edging off. There he goes. Here's the throw by Wieters. See you later. Now Wieters throwing out 37% of the time. No chance. Or Aviles trying to steal on that one. Look at Hardy perfectly straddling the bag, waiting for the runner to come to the ball.
He's a guy nobody can claim. There is no one here that can say, well, I told him to do this, do that. We tried. And when we saw that it was impossible to keep him from swinging a bad pitch, we just left him alone. And yeah, we have a guy like that in San Francisco Giant, Pablo Sandoval, who's a guy like that, and we just let him do his thing, you know. And Vladdy was right to do it the way he does it.
Indeed he was.
I guess
and he wanted to change.
Well, like 2 years in, I mean, I'm looking at his numbers, 38 home runs, 109 RBIs. He'd go on to steal. I mean, 37 bases, 40 steals in a year.
Just leave him alone.
Yep. Great arm.
Game tied at 2.
Well, you know, that's funny. Bob Melvin went up to when Ichiro was on that run of 10 consecutive 200. And I said, well, I read where you said maybe he needs to be a little bit more disciplined. He said, yeah, but that ended in a hurry. That wasn't going to work.
1-1 delivery. Guerrero golfs that one down to third. Aviles up with it will make the throw over, and Guerrero is retired. One away in the 4th inning. A 2-2 ball game. The Orioles 2-3-1. The Red Sox 2-4-0. The Red Sox have left 4. The Orioles have left 1 in the ball game. Red Sox Tampa Bay are tied for the wild card on this, the final day of the regular season. Tampa Bay trailing the Yankees by a score of 5-0. If there is a required playoff game after 162, they'll play tomorrow at 4 o'clock in Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay won the season series 12-6 against the Red Sox.
Yeah, 7-2 at Fenway. But again, that's what pitching's all about. It would be Neiman most likely against John Lackey in bullpen, or Neiman in bullpen against Lackey in bullpen. That's what playoff games are all about, as this one will be.
Then the playoffs start on Friday. So both of these, neither of these teams wants that to happen, obviously. There is Lackey, who's had just a very tough season with Boston. Matt Wieters will take it for a strike. Wieters flied out to right field. His first time up. 2 ball, 1 strike count on the Oriole catcher with 1 down and nobody on. Lester has walked 1 and struck out 3. Simone 3 walks, 1 intentional and 1 strikeout. Oh my. Is that a strike? Oof. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, to be honest, and you know, I usually am, I guess, at least my perception of honesty. I mean, that ball a little bit closer. Yeah, that's closer. But Wally Bell at such a big strike zone, if you're a supervisor, he's got to be called on it, because you just can't allow that to happen. It's just not the way the game is supposed to be played. That doesn't mean that, you know, maybe you had a bad night, but if you do that consistently, you can't be an umpire. It's just, it was that bad last night. 3-4 inches off the plate.
And every game is reviewed by supervisors, umpire supervisors, as they're all videotaped. 3-2 delivery on the way, and he got him on a high swinging strike. Lester has 4 Ks.
Yeah, a little, it looked like a curveball. Yeah, maybe a little cutter. So just about 4 or 5 miles per hour off, and then the speed of the pitch gets him.
2 down, nobody on in the 4th. Adam Jones delivered a single his first time up. He's gone 4 for 10 in this series. Even with a bag at third, Aviles, and the pitch will be taken inside for a ball.
Yeah, it looks like he just wants to run Adam off the plate and then either throw the changeup, which he got the hit on the first time, or the ground ball up the middle, just go away.
That ball hit the other way, right where Gonzalez was playing. You'll make the flip over to Lester covering and has a 1-2-3 inning. We've completed 4 here at Camden Yards. Final game of the year, 2-2. All season long, our great crew brings you the pictures and sound covering these games. These are the camera people who have worked here at Walsh. Mike Croak, Steve Farrell, Jeff Britton, Mo Brown, Chris Tafuri, Neil Mitten, Bill Schiffelman, and Phil Frizaka. We thank all of them for the great work that they have done all year long.
We love them.
None better.
Yeah, they're terrific.
I mean, the shots you get here for these games, especially and replays that are provided, are as good as anywhere in baseball. And they'll continue grinding this one out. And right now it's a 2-2 ball game. With everything at stake here, we go to the 5th inning. Simone done a good job. Pedroia an RBI single, a balk, scoring the second run. The Orioles have the homer by Hardy, accounting for 2, his 30th of the year. Jacoby Ellsbury was at the plate when Mike Aviles was thrown out by Wieters trying to steal. 1 for 2 with a single and a strike to it.
Well, that's why Terry Francona let Aviles try to steal, because you don't mind having Jacoby leading off the inning. Again, a tremendous ability to steal bases, almost 38% of the time on base.
Ellsbury will punch that one back. The on-base percentage is 9th in the league. The Red Sox have Gonzalez, Ortiz, Pedroia, and Ellsbury. 4 of the top 10 on-base percentage numbers in the American League belong to the Red Sox. When you can do that, you are going to score some runs. You add the power of an Ortiz, Ellsbury with 83 extra base hits leading the league. Simone with a real good pitch. He doesn't get the call. He had his back turned to the home plate umpire. Now their discussion is in the dugout as Hirschbeck lifts his mask up.
Well, they're going back to the first inning with Ortiz. He threw a curveball right down the middle, and then right here, this ball's inside. Not that he hasn't called pitches that close tonight. So they just want him to be consistent, not be one-sided.
Got him swinging.
Yep. I think a little splitter that stays up, but again, the speed and the just a little movement, kind of not a great location, but located well enough to get one of the best hitters in baseball out.
Second strikeout for Simone. That'll bring up Pedroia, his RBI in the 3rd inning after a leadoff walk to Aviles. Ellsbury and Pedroia followed up with singles. Could have been a lot worse inning, but Ortiz hitting a double play that helped Simone and the Orioles get out of the inning, surrendering only 1. There's David Ortiz waiting on deck.
Well, Buck Showalter was talking about Pedroia and how much he respects him. He said again, and we saw it the first time, but you got to stay down in the zone. Otherwise, he becomes a home run hitter. That's how he hit 20. Doesn't matter what park, though.
Great breaking ball. Wow, did that have some bend on it? 1-1. Pedroia leaning away from the plate on that pitch, and it ended up coming almost down the middle.
Well, when he gets up top, Alfredo Simone, and he's very much like John Lester, they're big guys. Actually throw with different arms, but he's 6'6", well, whatever he weighs, in the 250 to 270 range. But when he gets his arm up and stays down the slope, not like that. He just, you got to throw over your front side, and so sometimes everybody, I guess the term in baseball, side to side. And then when you get side to side, they see the ball better. And this guy already sees it well.
Pedroia with the 11-game hit streak as a result of the single he got. 2 ball, 1 strike delivery from Simone, and that one up and in will be fouled off, and a 2-ball 2-strike count on Pedroia.
Yeah, he's going to air it out here because it's a fastball count. I mean, and again, he just drops down and swings as hard as he can. And not too many people can do that and make contact, but Dustin can. 65th pick in the 2004 draft. 7th infielder. And he's already been an MVP.
2-2 delivery on the way. And he protects on the breaking ball that was away. Probably out of the strike zone, but too good a pitch not to go after.
Talk about an emergency hack.
And the count will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He signed, showed up at Fenway. That was DeMar Marlo Hale, and somebody thought he was the son of one of the owners. Kevin Millar, that's the greatest line. He said, "You have all those scouts all over the country, and you picked this guy?"
The answer is yes. 2-2 delivery, got it in the air to left field. Going back, Raimo. Goodbye, home run. Dustin Pedroia, and the Red Sox have a 3-2 lead.
Well, Simone tries to trick him. Talked about keep the ball down, and you're going to see where it ends up. Watch this. For some reason, he thinks you got to just try to throw it harder. Watch. Unbelievable. And this is why they drafted him out of Arizona State. The ability to get the barrel of the bat to the ball.
Our Dodge Ram Expo brought to you by Ram Trucks, designed, tested, and proven to be the best trucks we've ever built. Ram. David Ortiz, Simone surrendering the homer. 15th he has led up this season, and 9 by right-handers. Get maximum access, exclusive Oriole interviews, behind-the-scenes content available only through the social media. Be the first to know when you like Masson Facebook. Facebook.com/MassonOrioles. Content you can't miss. Ortiz hit into a double play and walk. Troy Patton first action in the bullpen. That will miss. 2-0.
Yeah, Pedroia's favorite thing. That fastball is what, 95? When he was playing in the College World Series, he would say 95 coming in, 105 going out. And that's exactly what he did there.
Here's the 2-0 delivery. Ortiz. Corey Pedroia, 4 home runs against the Orioles this year and 16 RBIs against the Orioles. He leads the Red Sox in runs batted in on the year against the O's. 2-ball, 1-strike count, so a 1-run differential here in the final game. 3-2 lead for Boston. Ortiz trying to air one out himself.
Yeah, he's missed 2 fastballs in a hitter's count, 2-0, 2-1. As you said, only 1 home run in the month of September. Came in with 28, has 29. Would love to hit 30. Love to give him another run.
3 runs on 5 hits for Boston. 2 runs and only 3 hits for the Orioles off Lester. Yankees have increased their lead to 6-0 over Tampa Bay in the 4th inning. In the air to right field. That's going to be near the scoreboard. Markakis back. It'll hit. And it'll be a long single. Nick right there to play it off the wall. Ortiz gets the base hit in the 5th. This offseason, go behind the scenes of the O's. Birdland social media clubhouse. Orioles.com Connect. Find out about Facebook, Twitter, and the latest Oriole news. You'll get it at Orioles.com/connect. So now for Buck Showalter, how long do you stay with it? Trying to win a ball game, your whole staff's available. He's not made the move yet, but he's coming out.
And there it is. And you know what you try to match up is that Gonzalez hits lefties, but the power numbers go down, and that's what this is all about.
Well, Alfredo Simone cannot get through the 5th inning of this one. The Red Sox lead it. Barry Thorne, Jim Palmer here in Baltimore, where the Red Sox have gone on top by 1 against Alfredo Simone, who comes out of the ball game 4 1/3. 3 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, 2 Ks.
Troy Patton got the win against the Red Sox. Inning and 2/3. So pretty good numbers. Former starter. Came over from Houston in the Miguel Tejada trade. I think some shoulder problems, but he's worked his way back. Again, he's got 3 pitches, change up, 2-seamer, 4-seamer, and then a swooping breaking ball.
Ortiz at first base and 1 away. Gonzalez will take that swooping breaking ball for a strike. He's hit into a fielder's choice and drawn an intentional pass.
Of course, the type of hitter you don't want to throw too many of them, because he'll look for it and then he'll hit it to left center with the best of them. That's what he does.
318 off left-handers for Gonzalez.
Oh, wow. Almost got him.
1-1.
Well, you'll never know that Adrian's uptight. He's about as relaxed as they come at the plate.
Nice soft hands.
Yeah. Oh, does he ever.
Here's the 1-1. Off the glove. Infield hit.
Well, again, you got a young pitcher. When you jam a guy like that, you better catch it. Otherwise, it's a double play. You know he's hitting. He doesn't have speed. You know that you're going to pick it. I mean, if you just let it go, it's going to be a double play ball. And now you get nobody. So a big break for the Red Sox because of the ineffectiveness of the Orioles defense. And now you got the lefty-righty matchup unless they again go to the bullpen.
Ryan Lavarnway, the catcher, coming up. First and second, 1 away. Lavarnway struck out his last time up and has gone on a 1-3 putout. Ortiz at second base, Gonzalez at first, still only 1 down. Vanden Hurk in the pen. And the pitch to him is in for a strike. Red Sox a couple of times in this game have threatened to blow the doors off it. They did in the 3rd inning before Ortiz hit him in double play, and now here in this inning they've got the Pedroia home run followed by a couple of singles and only 1 down. Lavarnway, a tower would pop up. It'll go down the line near the seats and out of play.
So the ability, young, strong, right center. We saw it last night, 2 home runs to left center. The ability for Troy Patton now to pitch out of the zone. And that's what getting ahead of hitters allows you to do, if you can do it. Not a pretty game for the Orioles so far with a balk, and right there, that's a double play ball. Should have been out of the inning. Pedroia so far the difference with his 21st home run.
Simone responsible for the lead runner, David Ortiz. Troy Patton with a 2-strike count. 1-2.
Pretty firm fastball right underneath his hands. Troy Patton has been impressive. There's the captain, Jason Varitek, looking on. Again, hit by a pitch on that right knee.
One-two delivery, and he'll get it fouled back to hold the count of the ball and 2 strikes. Troy Patton, opponents hitting just .221 against him on the year. The Orioles trying to figure out whether he's one of the pieces for next year. Ortiz the lead runner and Gonzalez on at first base. Left-handers .250, right-handers .196 off Patton.
They're probably going to have to work on that left-handed number a little bit.
Here's the 1-2 delivery again. Lavarnway will take it inside.
And that's fine to pitch that way. I mean, who reminds me, certainly doesn't have the experience, but we saw coming out of Toronto, Scott Downs went to the Angels, multi-year deal. That's who he reminds me of. He just doesn't, again, have the experience or the innings to really be able to know exactly what he needs to do, but it sets him up for the changeup down and away here.
2-2 delivery, that is straight to left field. Reimold is there and he's got it. Runners halfway will go back. Lavarnway retired, and there are 2 away. Tonight's minor league report brought to you by PNC for the Achiever and you. Congratulations. Tim Bascom, who has won the 2011 Jim Palmer Award, a 10-4 record, season with Frederick and Bowie. Very solid 2.97 ERA. You see the 36 walks and 117 strikeouts for Tim.
Pretty nice there. You like strike throwers. Good place to start.
Cardinals have a 5-0 lead over Houston in the second inning. Atlanta leads Philadelphia 3-1 in the sixth. As those two teams, the Cardinals and Atlanta, tied in the National League for the wild card spot, and both of them at the moment are winning. If they need a playoff game, it would be tomorrow night in St. Louis at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, Tim Hudson going for his 17th win, biggest one of the year.
J.D. Drew will take it outside, 2 on 2 down, and a 2-0 count to Drew.
Yeah, not a lot of at bats, only 47. 1 home run, hitting 170 against lefties. Well, he was talking at the cage. He said, boy, did I get tired of watching the Red Sox on television. Shoulder problems, broke his finger in his right hand.
Nice inside corner strike for Patton, 2-1.
Well, he was talking about it. He said, yeah, that's when I use my breaking ball when I get behind lefties. I said, well, don't think if you're on the staff next year, they won't start looking for that.
Runners off first and second. Off the end of the bat to center. Adam Jones. He's got it, inning over. Pedroia, his 21st home run, giving the Red Sox a 3-2 lead. And as Adam Jones said, we are standing in their way, which is exactly where we want to be in this final day of the season. Now the question is, what can they do about it? Can the Orioles come back here and find a way to win the ball game against Leicester? Orioles will bat here down 3-2 in the bottom half of the fifth. Mark Reynolds will be leading it off. Reynolds hit into a double play. Has not had a hit yet in this 3-game set, as he is 0 for 5. That one in the air to right, and that's going to hit right off the wall. J.D. Drew, not a good read. Reynolds watching, will go into second base. He's got a lead-off double.
Yeah, how many times I think I just don't ever see him hit the ball to right field. So very rarely. We saw Reimold do it last night, and again, tremendous strength. He just reacts to a ball out over the plate. And again, Drew, who's a terrific outfielder, couldn't get to it. The ball's hit so sharply.
So the potential tying runs on at second to kick off the inning.
If that's Adam Jones, it's probably a triple because he runs a little bit better. Ellsbury a little bit late getting over there.
Now Davis. Chris Davis drew a walk. The only at bat he's had in the ball game. The Orioles get their 4th hit of the game. Scudero will sneak in behind Reynolds to hold him at second base. Davis fooled on the pitch, gets the lazy swing as a result.
Well, you really have to have a good idea of what you want to do, because again, with Reimold, who's been hitting very well in September, you want him either to bring the infield in, but you want to get the guy over, and again, the bonus would be getting him over and in, get him to third base. So again, what amazing thing about John Lester, we talked about getting a guy out 3 or 4 different ways. He's thrown very few curveballs. First 2 pitches, hooks, and good ones. 4 strikes.
Davis with the 0-2 count. Outfield straight away on him. And comes back with a heater just to straighten him up a little bit. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Now you look to see if he gives him that breaking ball down and away again.
Well, he's certainly capable of doing it. I look at John Lester. I'm wondering with this team getting him 6.95 runs a game, how he ever loses. He's that good, or at least that good against us.
See Scudero, the shortstop, jockeying there to try and get Reynolds leaning back towards the bag. Lester, the 1-2 delivery. Davis is going to get the runner over. Pedroia will knock it down. Reynolds goes to third base. 1 away. Productive at bat. AT&T Mobility Trivia Fact. Did you know the Orioles have hit 191 home runs this season? And in addition to that, that is the 7th most by an Orioles club since the team moved to Baltimore. They've been up among the leaders and have continued to hit the ball here in the second half of the season for more home runs than they had in the first. J.J. Hardy's got one here tonight, his 30th.
I would like to go back. When was the most they hit? I'm thinking, I know they hit a bunch in 1987. think they hit 200 in 1996, 88 games. Yeah. Problem with, I think, 87, Gary, was they hit 207, gave up 215.
Now the infield is drawn in. Red Sox want to cut this run off. Reynolds not fleet of foot, the runner at third base. Reimold hit into a fielder's choice, scored on the Hardy home run. He gets the RBI chance with one down. Orioles trying to tie it up in the fifth inning.
Well, a lot of people said, who's going to be your left fielder in 2012? These are situations where Nolan has got to get a pitch that he can put in the air. And if it takes hitting with 2 strikes, it makes it a lot tougher on the opposing pitcher.
That's going to miss up high, and it'll go to 2-0. Simone's final line tonight: 3 runs, 6 hits, 4 1/3. Walked 3, 1 intentional, and struck out 2. Gave up the 1 home run to Pedroia. Lester has walked 1 and struck out 4, giving up the home run to Hardy. 2-0 count on Nolan Reimold. Infield in, foul back.
Yeah, that's the kind of swing you like to see. But again, Lester's stuff just good enough to get it by him.
Yankees have extended their lead to 7-0 over Tampa Bay in the 5th inning.
And remember, the Yankees, they will play on Friday. They get the best backhand of the bullpen around. And Joe Girardi will sequence his way through it.
Here's the 2-1 delivery. Reimold to third, and that'll be foul. Not going on contact. Reynolds foul ball anyway, but he wasn't taking off on contact. Went back to the bag. Pressure packed game, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Well, it doesn't really appear that John Lester is anything but John Lester. He doesn't look uptight.
2-2 delivery. Good eye. They check. He didn't go.
Nope. Thought about it. That's that curveball. Tried to backdoor it. And Scott Barry's going to look down at first. The first base umpire is going to be looking right at this. Not even close to going. But you can certainly see why the Red Sox wanted to get the call.
Infield stays in. A 3-ball, 2-strike count on Reimold. Reynolds edges off third. Now we'll go back as the timeout's taken. And Lavarnway will go out to talk to Lester.
Rookie catcher, veteran pitcher. Boy, how many times did we see this last night?
Our Mid-Atlantic Sports Report continues even with the Orioles season ending. Tune in tomorrow throughout the postseason, 5:30 to 7. Tom Davis, Phil Wood, Mel Anton, and Dave Johnson. With the end of this regular season, they'll look ahead to 2012. Should be all kinds of stories regarding the Orioles. Who's going to be in the front office and who's going to be down on the field. Mid-Atlantic Sports Report, 5:30 tomorrow. They've agreed on the pitch. 3-ball, 2-strike delivery to Reimold, and a ground ball to short. Runner is coming, and he's not going to get there. Scudero the tag, and he's out. Reynolds not enough speed to go with the infield drawn in, and Scudero made the play.
Yeah, nice pitch by Lester. Little cutter in on his hands. He gets the ground ball. Reimold can't hit the fly ball, and then it's just a matter of can you execute. He gets it. Plenty of time. And then Lavarnway had to reach across the plate, gave him the outside corner. Well, there it is. There's everybody in. You can see how close Pedroia was. But again, it wasn't that good a throw. Nice reactions by the rookie catcher.
And a big second out. So the Orioles, who got the leadoff double, have Reynolds thrown out at the plate for the second out of the inning. Reimold now at first base, and here's Andino. Andino has struck out and grounded out. He's had a 1 for 9 in this series against the Red Sox. Well, the Red Sox, for the moment at least, protect the 3-2 lead. And that's outside for a ball. You make the decision before the pitch as far as Reynolds running or not. You go on contact or don't you? And he was going on contact.
Of course, another option is if it's right at the infielder that you can get in a rundown and get Reimold to second. But he goes all the way, and then Reimold didn't have time to do that.
Andino a chopper to short. Scudero again. He'll go to first base and get the out. So the Orioles can now convert on a leadoff double. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base, 5 complete. Red Sox up by 1. Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. 37% effective in throwing out base stealers for Matt Wieters.
Well, you could just see his. I look at his face and I'm going, don't be trying to run on me. I mean, it's almost like he's the sheriff back there.
Usually gives us a little nod of the head that comes when the out's called. It's just a little nod like, yep, that's right, you're out. Then he puts the mask back on and goes back to work. Here's Marco Scudero. Scudero's played a big part in this game. Good glove at short. He doubled in the 4th inning and would end up scoring the tying run on a block charge to Simone.
You get the feeling after his injury last year that, you know, maybe they wanted Jed Lowry to be the shortstop, but he can't ever stay healthy. So again, you need somebody that can hit. Again, you talked about hitting about almost 390 here in September.
Nice pitch delivered by Troy Patton.
Troy Patton's got 3 pitches, and again, he came out of the Houston organization, had the labrum tear, had to have the operation, but he's a starting pitcher.
One ball, 1 strike delivered to Scudero will be outside. Marco Scudero trying to kick it off here. A very tight game. 306 off the lefties for him. 293 right-handers. Yankees with a 7-0 lead in their game. 5 RBI night so far for Teixeira, including a grand slam home run for the Yankees. 2-1 delivery. Down to third. Davis is playing in and over towards the bag. And he gets Scudero after knocking it down. Take a look at this State of Baseball brought to you by Verizon Fios. Switch to Fios, the network ahead. To learn more, visit Verizon.com/getFios. The man I rooted for growing up, Ted Williams, all on this date. In 1941, he refused to sit out a doubleheader. Could have won the batting title at 400. He went 6 for 8 and won it anyway. 1958, he became the first 40-year-old to win a title, batting title. And in 1960, at his last home run at Fenway, came off Jack Fisher. He rounded third, crossed the plate, ran into the dugout up to the clubhouse, and nobody saw him again. And that was the end. Carl Crawford with a 1-0 count.
And then I came to the Orioles and I got Jack Fisher's old uniform, number 22.
That ball is in the air to left field. Reimold. 2 down. I had the pleasure of meeting Ted later while I was working with the Mets trading company that hired him for baseball cards. Upper Deck at the time hired me to travel with him around doing appearances for signings. I wasn't 12 at the time, but I acted that way. Loved every minute of it.
He was the John Wayne of baseball. He was larger than life.
Here is Mike Aviles. And that is taken for a strike. Aviles, he's walked and scored and singled. 2 down, nobody on, 6th inning.
I remember the night we got in. Joe Morgan and I get in the Hall of Fame, but it gets rained out, but they have the dinner, and he grabs a mic and he's sitting there and talking, and he says, I just want to have a little shout out to Stan Musial because he's so happy to see you, and he kind of set the tone for the whole evening. And
he actually needed a mic.
Well, no, not really, but they gave him one. He could speak loud.
He could thunder. That's going to go to short. Hardy's got it on the big hop. Patton doing a great job. He retires the side in order. That's 5 in a row. He's set down. Bottom of the 6th inning, a 1-run difference.
Great year for JJ this year. And great for us to get to see it. He's been a special player.
2 for 2 in the ball game with a double on the home run off Lester, accounting for the Oriole runs. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Hardy, Markakis, and Guerrero. The Orioles have left only a couple on base and only 1 in scoring position, and that was back in the 1st inning. There have been some big defensive plays, including Reynolds getting thrown out at the plate with the infield drawn in. What could have been the potential tying run in the ball game. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Red Sox, 2 runs, 4 hits, and an error for the Orioles. 7-0 Yankees over Tampa Bay. 5th inning in Tampa Bay. That'll be bounced by Lester. He's had a problem with that landing spot a couple of times in the ball game tonight. Has tried to do a little groundwork out there.
Yeah, usually it's not a problem if you don't swing your leg. If you pick it up and put it down, it's pretty easy to get it in the same spot. But again, as the game goes on, you see more guys come out of the bullpen. There's more holes there.
Gets that one into Hardy. 2-1.
And it just took a little off. The old BP fastball.
Hardy's got 5 home runs off left-handers, 25 off righties. Went away and will miss. So the Orioles looking to get the leadoff man on again. Hardy's ahead on the count here, 3-1. Orioles have had the leadoff man 2 out of the 5 innings. It's about what Lester does, 68% getting leadoff batters. Not this one. Second walk surrendered, and the potential tying run is on again. Join members of the 92 Orioles on the field for a week of daily baseball drills, instruction games, and more. 2012 Orioles Dream Week, January 29th through February 4 in Sarasota. You can find out what it's like to be a major leaguer. Uniform, locker, clubhouse services, and a chance to be on the field here at Camden Yards later in the year. For details, Orioles.com/Dreamweek. Now, Nick Markakis has had tough at-bats in this game. He's been called out on strikes and struck out. He's had a gentle turnaround discussion with the home plate umpire once. That pitch will be taken up high for a ball.
And Letcher's going to look in. Well, I think Nick has subtly made his point. Just make it be over the plate, which is supposed to be your job. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're pitching. You're walking.
Yeah.
When that plate gets 17 to maybe 20 inches wide, an extra 2 or 3 on both sides of the plate, it's a luxury.
Lester again looking down in that landing spot, and immediately Pedroia, Gonzalez, Lavarnway all head out to the mound.
Well, it doesn't take much in a 1-run ball game. It's certainly been there. To walk a guy, you didn't want to walk him. The 2-run inning in the 3rd was a walk to Chris Davis to lead it off, and then after a fielder's choice and an out, Hardy would make it 2-1 Orioles with a home run. So now all of a sudden Nick can look a little bit, doesn't have to defend. He can look for his pitch till he gets to 2 strikes.
2-0 count. Markakis. His 2 strikeouts, 2 of the 4 that have been picked up by Lester in the game. Hardy off first base. 2-0 delivery. Markakis, that's not close. And the count goes to 3-0. So Lester having trouble here. He walked Hardy. Now he's thrown 3 in a row out of the strike zone to Markakis.
Now he might get away with it to the guy on deck, Vladimir Guerrero, because he swings at pretty much everything.
3-0 count, and he's taking all the way in there for a strike. Lester laid that one in.
Now this is where you hope that Nick can get a ball in the middle of the plate and drive it. You've got the 1 strike to work with until he has to defend with 2.
Short lead at first base, Hardy. 3-1 delivery on the way. Markakis is on with a walk. And that time Lester didn't like the call. 2 consecutive walks, 3 in the game.
Yeah, I think he thought the ball was low enough to be called. It was about belt high. And here comes Kurt Young, in his first year as the Red Sox pitching coach.
Red Sox know the Yankees had a 7-0 lead in the 6th inning over Tampa Bay. Red Sox Tampa Bay tied for the wild card. Matt Albers, the former Oriole, warming up in the bullpen. But he just starts.
Yep. Well, Kurt Young, I've known him since he pitched, and then he was with Oakland. Sent him a little note after they lost the first 6 games. You might have to get into the witness protection program. But again, the Red Sox, boy, they would have liked to have started out better, 2-10 at one point this season. And now it comes down to this.
Now Vladdy's grounded into more double plays than any other Oriole, 22.
And you know he's not going to take pitches. That's not his style. What did Felipe Alou say? Tried to change him?
There are 2 on and nobody out. He's grounded out twice. 5-3. John Lester's pitch to him first. 1 he went after, and that was one to hit right there.
Yeah, look at this. You know, I've said all year long, and I think everybody that's seen him play, 318 lifetime average, 449 home runs. He's had a Hall of Fame career. These are the only guys that have had better numbers. Pretty select group, isn't it?
They seem to all be gathered in one place in upstate New York.
Yes. Wow.
Here's the 0-1 delivery to him, and Vladdy will take it inside for a ball. Lester with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Guerrero's 5 for 21 now. Off Lester with a home run. The Orioles trying to battle back. The Red Sox got the go-ahead in the 5th inning on the Pedroia home run. The Orioles have the first 2 on here in the bottom of the 6th. Orioles had a 2-1 lead at one point. Trail 3-2 now. Runners off first and second. And Guerrero's ground ball to the middle. That'll be gobbled up under the glove. Pedroia the turn. Oh! What a play! That may be the one that puts the Red Sox into the postseason. A magnificent play to turn 2.
Well, Scooter Hall has already gone to his left to catch a ball. This ball hit very sharply. Look at this. Now, I don't know. You don't practice that. And again, the second part's pretty easy once Scudero gets this to Pedroia. Back to the play. Here comes Markakis, clears the base runner, and they get 2 outs on 1 pitch. Wow, great defense.
Scudero and Pedroia rising to the occasion at second base. Runner at third base, but there are now 2 down. Here's Matt Wieters. He has struck out and flied out. Inside for a ball.
Yeah. Again, we talk about select number. Look what Matt has done hitting against left-handed pitching from the right side of the plate. And that's, of course, for the Orioles.
Here's the 1-0 delivery on the way in the dirt.
And Adam Jones waiting on deck. It's amazing. Lester really hasn't commanded anything. Only the 1 pitch on the hot shot up the middle. They turn for a double play. But again, he's John Lester. And they do have somebody up in their bullpen, as we said, Matt Allers.
Behind on the count again, 2-0 on Wieters. Runner at third base. Wieters will take it away, and it's 3-0. Matt being very patient. He has struck out 83 times, drawn 47 walks. Albers is ready if needed.
I would imagine he'll get out Adam Jones if it goes that far.
And it does. That is the 4th walk of the ball game by Lester, and 3 of them have come here in the 6th inning, yet the Orioles have not been able to get a run yet. And here comes Adam Jones.
Now, Jonesy with a home run last night to right center field. But again, you don't need a home run. You need extra base hit, single, anything to get it tied.
8th of 34 lifetime for Jones off Lester. Wieters draws the free pass. The Orioles this close to getting this ball game tied up or better, but the Red Sox defense has risen to the 4, and Lester's been able to get a couple of strikeouts when he needed them. Now he faces Jones with 2 down. Runners on first and third. Jones will take it away for a ball.
And they're trying to stay out of the middle of the plate and not being able to do it and throw a strike.
Two walks to start the inning. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Taken for a strike. This has been where Adams punked the homers. 19 here, 6 on the road for Jones. 1-1 delivery to him. Adam reaching and fouls it back 1-2.
He actually covered that curveball pretty well. The ball he probably would have hit into right field. And now all of a sudden Lester, for the first time this inning, he can actually stay out of the zone and be effective with 2 strikes. I haven't had that luxury.
Hardy at third, Wieters at first. Jones asked for the timeout. Barnway will go out again to the mound. One ball, 2-strike delivery. Jones takes it down low. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2-1. Delivery to Adam Jones, and he missed inside. So it goes 3-2. Wieters will be running at first base. They will stay in the bag. Gonzalez, they're not going to give Wieters the extra couple of steps over there at first.
I don't know why, but
big hole first to second. 3-2 delivery. Jones breaking ball, got him. Throw's got to be made. LaVarnway gets it there, and Lester with a pump of the fist is out of the inning. He gets his 5th strikeout. The Orioles, despite 3 walks in the inning, do not get a run.
Red Sox lead by 1. Again, Hardy with his 30th home run. Dustin Pedroia with his 21st, and you could see 2 for 3, and again the balk on Simone.
The grounds crew is ready. There are thunderstorms in the area and lightning overhead. And it's really the groundskeeper came out and talked to John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, who's the home plate umpire. So they've got an eye on this one.
And really getting cooler.
Yep. Just what we need.
Oh yes. Well,
we go to the 7th inning.
Just what they need.
Yeah.
If they don't win tonight, and Tampa Bay doesn't win, which they're down by 7.
Atlanta's still leading Philly, but it's 3-2 now. Late in the game, Cardinals have the shutout going in their ball game against Houston. Those 2 teams tied in the wild card race in the National League. Yankees 7-0, Tampa Bay 6th inning. 7th inning. That breeze blowing from right to left.
And here comes the rain
at the moment, and the rain indeed does begin. Patton's done a great job of the mound, the left-hander for the Orioles in relief. Ellsbury is single. He is 1 for 3. A 13-game hit streak going. Patton came on, gave up a single, the first man he faced in the 5th. Since then has retired 5 in a row.
Hit his 6th home run against left-handed pitching off of Britton last night, a 2-run shot.
That one in the air, shallow right. Markakis, and he's got it. 1 away in the 7th inning. Visit OriolesReach.com to download the 2011 Orioles Reach Annual Report detailing the O's various community relations events. You'll find about events here at Oriole Park and throughout the community and learn how you can help. That's Orioles Reach. touches the lives of even more fans for 2012. OriolesReach.com. Patton with one away, and that'll bring up Pedroia. Pedroia, the home run in the 5th inning, his 21st RBI single in the 3rd. A 2 RBI ball game, an 11-game hit streak, and he now has picked up 6 hits and 11 at-bats in this 3-game set.
And the second best average against left-handed pitching at 358, about 75 points higher than hitting off righties.
Patton's pitch is going to be away.
Well, the one thing I've seen from Troy Patton, and you talked about how well he's pitched, it's just seems a little bit more comfortable in making his pitches. And again, he's going to have to earn a job next year, but certainly has made everybody in the Oriole organization aware how well he can pitch.
2-0 delivery will miss, and a 3-0 count on Pedroia. Simone walked a 3, 1 intentional. Lester's walked 4, while striking out 5. Started for the Red Sox still on. There's the man, Aceves, the savior for the Red Sox so far this season. Way outside, and Patton will walk it.
I think that became a pitch around when he got behind him. But again, Ortiz, it's not like he can't hit lefties. I mean, he's hitting actually better average, 326, than he does at 298 against right-handed batters for pitchers. Still looking for number 30. Yeah,
he has singled it into a double play and drawn a walk. Red Sox with 1 away and a runner on here in the 7th. And he'll take it away for a ball. 3-2 lead. Boston on top. A win by Boston, a loss by Tampa Bay, and the Red Sox are the wild card team in the American League. And Tampa Bay certainly looks like they're going to lose, trailing 7-0 to the Yankees, 6th inning. In the air to left center. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Jones will try and cut it off. Here's Pedroia coming to 3rd. They'll hold him up, throw to 2nd, and got him. David Ortiz trying to extend a single into a double. Becomes the 2nd out of the inning.
Boy, what a nice play by Adam Jones. Ball slicing. You got to get to it. You got to make a good throw. Watch this throw. And again, look at Andino. He doesn't know where the runner is. He actually does a double take. And then Big Papi, I think he just kind of crash lands. Doesn't even get to the bag.
Boy, is that a big out.
Yo. And the play is in front of you. Boy, you can go back.
Yeah. So now a runner at 3rd base. Another intentional pass will be surrendered to Gonzalez. With Lavarnway, the rookie catcher, waiting on deck.
Boy, some superb defense here tonight. And that's why the scoreboard's only 3-2.
Orioles have Willier ready to go in the bullpen. Gonzalez will take the pitch away, and the count will go to 3-0. So instead of having runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 away, Red Sox end up with a runner at 3rd, 2 down, and now with the intentional walk, runners at 1st and 3rd with 2 down. That is the 18th intentional pass. And with that, Buck Showalter will make his way out to get the matchup that he wants with Lavarnway, the rookie catcher, waiting to come up. But a good job by Troy Patton, and it remains a 1-run ball game. 7th inning, the Red Sox 3, the Orioles 2. Great ball game continues, and a fine season continues for Adam Jones. One of the great catches of the year right there as he put his indentation in the wall, and he made a few of them. And he's used the long ball to his advantage, especially as we said here at Camden Yards, including that walk-off home run that you saw there against Kansas City. Gold Glove?
Well, yeah, it could be. Well, he throws better than Ellsbury. He throws better than Granderson. Granderson plays in New York. You get a gold star there. Ellsbury is going to maybe be the MVP. I don't know. You already won one.
Yep.
You just really don't know.
Tough call.
So Willier comes on. Righty versus righty. Lavarnway with 2 home runs last night. There are the numbers. Veteran pitcher against a rookie.
McShowalter has said to Lavarnway tonight, show me. Pitch is a strike. Lavarnway came up in the 3rd inning and had the intentional pass ahead of him, Gonzalez, and he struck out. Came up in the 5th inning with a couple on and flied to right field. Now 1st and 3rd, 2 down. Gonzalez walked in front of him intentionally.
Pattern a lot of breaking balls because he hit fastballs last night.
Wieters will stop that one. A 1-ball, 1-strike count from Willier.
Again, part of the formula for getting a young hitter out, if you throw the breaking ball, you'd like to think you can throw it for strikes, because otherwise you get into those fastball counts.
Big play in this inning. The throw by Jones to Andino to get Ortiz trying to stretch a single into a double. May prevent the Red Sox from scoring in the inning. We'll see. Lavarnway 1-1. A chopper to short. They got the force at second base. Strategy works again. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a couple left on base. So after about an hour and a half of rain delay, we are ready to resume, starting the bottom of the 7th inning. Alfredo Ceves has come on for John Lester. He had not thrown a pitch. We never got this half inning started. And a 3-2 Red Sox lead. Bottom of the 7th inning. The Orioles have Reynolds, Davis, and Reimold due up. Lester out of there, 2 runs, 4 hits, 6 innings. He walked 4 and struck out 5 and hit him.
Oh, right in the rib cage. Yeah, boy, is that going to hurt. Right in the rib cage. So again, how long can Francona ride this horse? 19 pitches on Sunday, 16 on Monday, 3 2/3 innings yesterday, and the first pitch right in the ribs. And that is not good. And again, very tender, not a lot of you're just looking at bones.
That is the 14th batter that Aceves has hit this year.
Well, again, 1-run lead. He's trying to stay out of the middle of the plate. You warmed up in the bullpen. You had to sit for an hour and a half, and your first pitch way inside.
Well, and during the rain delay, the baseball gods are just playing with everybody's mind tonight. A 7-0 Yankee lead disappeared in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay came back to tie it up in a 2-out home run by Don Johnson. In the bottom of the 9th inning, it is a 7-7 game there, going to extra innings or in extra innings. Philly and Atlanta are tied at 3-3 in the 12th inning. Cardinals have already won their game 8-0. Atlanta loses. Cardinals are the wild card team. Atlanta wins. There'll be a playoff with Atlanta St. Louis. And now, of course, Tampa Bay continues to play in a 7-7 game in the 10th inning.
Yeah, Texas beat the Angels, so they have home field advantage.
Chris Davis going after it, a towering fly ball to left field. Crawford will get in underneath it and put it away. And 1 down.
Alfredo Aceves, he was a couple of years ago with the Yankees. He was 10-1, 3-0 last year. Got hurt. They non-tendered him. Look at those numbers. And again, right there, perfect pitch inside. A lot of people pushing for him to be a starter, with the starters struggling for the Red Sox in the month of September. But as Terry Francona kind of predicted the future, because he goes to the bullpen, he said, I can use him 5 out of 6 days. He's used him now in 4 straight games.
Aceves is 3-0 against the Orioles, including a victory in the ballgame last night. He's given up 5 runs on 14 hits in 19 innings. His ERA is 2.33 against the Orioles. Here's Nolan Reimold, and he hit him. And that was way up there around the neck. Well, let's make it a little more interesting.
Yep. Yeah, John Hirschbeck, I don't think he wants to affect the game. Why would you be throwing at anybody with a 1-run lead? And he's doing the right thing. And again, you don't want people to get hurt. I mean, right there, he gets the shoulder. Nolan's able to turn into it. But I think, telling Kurt Young, hey, don't make me warn him, because then you can't pitch inside. This is just trying to go in. He misses by a foot. And Reimold gets lucky because he turns his shoulder into it, even though it hurts.
The Red Sox will obviously get warm-up action going here. Bard and Morales are in the bullpen as they try and settle Aceves down. I mean, the Red Sox have been sitting around in the clubhouse watching this comeback by Tampa Bay. They know what's going on, so the heat's on again. But it looked like the Yankees are just going to run away with the ball game. And instead, everything remains up for grabs here after the hour-and-a-half rain delay. Wow, what a finish to this baseball season here in the final 3 days. Now it'll be Andino. Runners at first and second, only one away. The Red Sox lead is 1. 3-8-0 for the Red Sox, 2-4-1 for the Orioles. One of the runs scored by Boston came in a balk in the 4th inning, which is the difference. Andino will take the pitch, and it is a strike. Robert Andino in the leadoff spot has had an 0 for 3 in this ball game. He is 1 for 10 in the series.
Yeah, they've done a nice job staying out of the middle of the plate. Robert, a good fastball hitter. You could see if Chavez throws him a slider, gets it over to start it. Yeah, he was talking before the game, Alfredo, saying, you know, I found with my curveball, if I throw it in the middle of the count, they hit it early on, or if I get behind, pretty effective.
Chavez with a 1-strike count. Andino's 0 for 9. Lifetime off the Red Sox right-hander. Now Lavarnway, the young catcher, will go out in another conference.
Well, again,
Unalina gave Flo. What there has been of it has been a roller coaster ride yet again. The Orioles got out to a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Red Sox came back and in the 4th inning got one, added another in the 5th to take the lead. Nobody scored since the 5th inning. Pedroia's had a home run and an RBI single, the other run and a balk. The Orioles a 2-run homer by Hardy. And now 2 on and 1 out.
And great speed at first base.
Andino will take it away. I mean, Chavez, as much of a veteran as he may be and as good as he's been, he's got to be a little shaky right here about where the ball's.
Well, you're right, especially if you want to come in, Gary, because he's come in on 2 hitters and hit both of them. And again, Andino, you got to go way away or middle of the plate. He can hit the ball hard.
And Andino will swing through a heater. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
You know, one of these situations in the old days, Earl, we were the negative positive. If you're not going to get a hit, don't. Pop up, strike out, but don't hit a double play ball. Give Hardy on deck a chance to get to the plate.
We are in the 7th. The wild card up for grabs. Tampa Bay and the Red Sox tied. Final game of the regular season. The Orioles trying to do big damage and mount a comeback. Timeout taken. Pretty good cat and mouse game going right now with Andino and Chavez. Andino asked for timeout but wouldn't step out of the box. Pedroia's moved over close to second base with Reynolds the potential tying run. See how he's trying to hold him, and he jumps way back over the other way. Chavez now is going to make Andino wait.
Well, you have a young catcher, so the bonus for the Red Sox, he hit 2 home runs last night, but again, we're used to either Saltalamacchia or Veritek, the captain of the Red Sox.
1-ball, 2-strike delivery. Andino will foul that one off.
Yeah, good hack at a 94-mile-per-hour heater right off the mask of Ryan Lavarnway.
They do have a 4th catcher, as we have mentioned. Veritek really cannot play. Saltalamacchia can, but they'd rather not put him in there. And Luis Exposito, who was called back from his home where he'd gone after the finish of the minor league season, is the backup for this game. 1-ball, 2-strike count. Chavez really slowing it down after hitting Reynolds and Reimold. Maybe he just doesn't like guys whose name begin with R. And now they're still having trouble, and there goes Lavarnway back to the mound.
Well, he's got a lot of pitches. I mean, he's got a cutter, he's got a 2-seamer, 4-seamer, curveball, changeup. Ideally, and this is not an ideal situation because your regular catchers are hurt, you'd like to get to your sign in a hurry and then maybe just shake for effect. And again, you got to be on the right page. I mean, here we are, game 162, 1-run lead.
Texas has beaten the Angels 3-1. Texas will be the number 2 team in the American League. Second best record. They guaranteed that by getting the win in their ball game tonight over the Angels. lot of discussion going on. You saw John Hirschbeck, home plate umpire, talking to Andino. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Runners off first and second, and that will be outside 2-2.
Well, you saw where Lavarnway went, and again, you hit 2 guys. It's hard to get the ball inside. I mean, he missed it by, and you don't see this very much from Mercedes, but he missed away because, again, I don't think he trusts the stuff on the inside part of the plate, and why would he?
Reimold at first base, Reynolds at second. Andino waiting 1 away. 2-2 delivery to him. Andino will go down swinging.
Boy, swung right through it. 94 inside middle. Not way in. As you can see, in enough. Foot down, trying to catch up. Just couldn't quite get it.
So 2 away. And J.J. Hardy will be asked to do it again. He got his 30th home run, 3rd inning, a 2-run shot. He has doubled, drawn a walk. Now there are 2 away. Virtually no breeze at all after that thunderstorm went through, and has cooled down by probably 8 or 9 degrees. Hardy on a check swing, and that is in there for a strike.
Take a look right here off of John Lester. Really the only glaring mistake. Walked Chris Davis. Forced play by Nolan Reimold to third, and then Orioles at that point 2-1 lead. With a balk by Simone would even it up.
Hardy in the 0-1. Simone worked 4 1/3, 3 runs on 6 hits. 3 walks, 1 intentional, a couple of strikeouts. Patton worked 2 1/3 innings, no runs, 2 hits. John Lester, pitcher of record for the Red Sox, 2 runs, 4 hits over 6, with 4 walks and 5 strikeouts. That'll go to third base, and he's short hopped. Aviles will go to first and get the out. Wilson good D again, and the Orioles unable to take advantage of getting a couple on. It remains 3-2 Boston. More members of our great crew are AD, Fred Gannell, John Conlon, our technical director. Don tries to hold this whole thing together. Lindsey Schaefer, Mick McDonald is on pitch track. James Turner on the duet. Mike Jaffe, our front coordinator. Tim Walbert makes the calls. Phil, you already been on once. Get off the camera. Get out of the way. Part of our great crew downstairs who have sat through all of these this season and brought you all these great pictures and sounds. And they're wrapping it up in a very big game.
I saw Phil yesterday without his hat on. I didn't recognize him. I've never seen him without a hat on.
It's true.
Good looking guy, short, but
I wouldn't go that far.
Vertically challenged. You could see from his jumping jacks he was doing, trying to get his vertical leap a little bit better.
So here is J.D. Drew leading it off as we go to the 8th inning of this ball game.
Yeah, Pedro Strop on for the Orioles. They acquired him. He's been in 10 games, given up runs in 1. And he'll have a very disciplined hitter. Drew trying to work the count in his favor.
Drew has a single. He is 1 for 3 in the game. Scudero and then Crawford due up. They're playing in extra innings in Tampa Bay, tied at 7. They're playing extra innings in Atlanta. Philadelphia, Atlanta tied at 3 in the 12th.
And this is what J.D. Drew did to Alfredo Simone. Worked to hit a laser into right for a single.
And that time he takes a strike at the knees that time for Drew. J.D. Drew getting back off the DL just in time here to join in the festivities in the final 3 games.
Well, yeah, and you know, Josh Reddick, a young player who was very good in August, struggled in September. And again, when the Orioles played up in Boston, Reddick made a key error in a game that Bedard started. So you get a veteran, you get a guy that, you know, obviously hasn't had as many at-bats, probably his last year. His contract is finished, but he can help you win games because he's real good defensive outfield.
2-2 delivery on the way to him down to first base. That will be handled by Reynolds. Drew is retired and there's 1 away in the 8th inning. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T player of the game, J.J. Hardy. Homer, 30th of the year, 2 RBIs in the ball game, couple of hits. Dustin Pedroia, 2 RBIs, 2 hits, including a home run. Troy Patton, 2 1/3 solid innings, no run, couple of hits in relief. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, to 51862. And really unbelievable is a couple of stories that I saw today. Both said the same thing. If you scripted this and tried to sell it, it'd be laughed at. The way this season is finished. these wild card races, and we're not done yet, and it's 11:15 on the East Coast.
And then we talked a little bit about it last night, about 2 weeks ago. Everybody's saying, well, really no races. And then the Braves didn't play well, the Red Sox didn't play well, and then there were races. Tampa did play well. The Cardinals have been just lights out.
Cardinals shut out Houston, so they right now are awaiting. If Atlanta loses, Cardinals are the wild card. That's going to go into right field for a base hit. Scudero finds a way. He's had a double single, 2 for 4 in the game.
You know, he's really so hot. And if you look at him, you can hit him anywhere in the order now. Good, perfect number 2 hitter.
Our Hankook Tires game flow. Hardy with a 2 RBI homer for the Orioles. A balk in the game has scored a run for Boston, which right now is the difference. Hankook Tires V1 with it. Here is Kyle Crawford, 0 for 3 in the game, 1 for 12 in the series.
Well, I can know his hope is, hadn't been a good year, get me into the postseason, and maybe it'll get better.
Runner at first base. Crawford way late on the delivery by Stroke. Play Rapata for the Orioles. There's nobody unavailable in this game unless you've already pitched. 0-1 count, 1 down. Fastball will miss away.
Yeah, Scudero doesn't run a lot. Daniel Bard getting loose. I think they got what they needed out of the 7th inning. I know it kind of got everybody, if you're a Red Sox fan, on the edge of your seats.
Scudero at first base. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Crawford will take it away. Fans have had their money's worth in the 3-game set to close out the season for the Orioles, who won the opener by a score of 6-3, beating Beckett in the process. Red Sox came back last night, just held on for an 8-7 win. Now tonight, 3-2. Red Sox up by 1 in the 8th. And a 3-ball, 1-strike count on Crawford.
Yeah, the one thing we've seen from Pedro Strop is he's been very consistent with his strike throwing. He don't like to get into these counts. But then again, when he has, he'll throw any pitch. He's got 3. Breaking ball, splitter. There's the breaking ball. He doesn't care. He amazes me. For a guy that was supposed to have a power arm and maybe be a little bit wild, a former infielder that started his career with the Rockies and then after about 3 years became a pitcher. He's got pretty good strike throwing command.
Decided he could throw the breaking ball better than he could hit it.
Yes. Well said.
Here's the 3-2 and a runner going, and that one is in the gap, and Raimel diving, cannot get it. Having to stop though is Scudero, not sure he's coming on. Here's a relay throw, Hardy to Wieters. He's out! He's out! He hesitated between second and third because he didn't know where the ball was, and the Orioles get him at the plate.
Yeah, that's the diving attempt by Reimold against Scudero. I mean, he gets around second. He's where he should be, but he didn't know that the ball was caught or not. And then you see the perfect relay. Watch this. There's the dive. Adam Jones is going to go get it. And once again, he's already thrown out a runner. Watch this. And here comes Hardy. No hesitation. And nobody does it better than Wieters. Perfect throw. Perfect tag. Crawford at second.
The unbelievability continues. Crawford at second base. 2 down.
See, right there, he doesn't know. And right there, it's just a little bit too late. If you're Tim Bogart, you figure you got to make the perfect throw, and the Orioles do that. Could not get any better to Wieters from Hardy.
Mike Aviles is going to pop that one up at the plate. Wieters, he's got it. The playoff atmosphere is in full bloom. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Play at the plate costing the Red Sox a run and an out, and it remains 3-2 Boston. 3-10-0 for the Red Sox. 2-4-1 for the Orioles, going to the bottom of the 8th, and Bard is on to pitch.
Yeah, 6'4" flamethrower. Did give up 3 hits and a couple of runs last night. Lights out till August 1st. He has since then given up 17 earned runs, 21 innings. Again, 33 saves, one more than last year. But again, it's been a struggle, and maybe a big part of the Red Sox demise. Papelbon's been terrific behind him, but to get to Jonathan Papelbon has been a little bit of a problem.
The Orioles in the bottom of the 8th inning will have Markakis, Guerrero, and Wieters. Markakis, a couple of strikeouts and a walk in the game. He is 3 for 10 off Bard. .284 average for Markakis, 15 home runs for the season. And Nick will take it up high for a ball. Flamethrower starts it out with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, I was talking to Daniel today. I said, boy, you just look like your arm's a little bit lower. He said, that is one of the reasons I've struggled. Trouble to find his arm slip spot.
Markakis, 1-0 delivery, ground ball to short. Scudero. And there's one away. For every Orioles walk this season, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributing $50 to support the Living Classroom Foundation. To date, the Orioles have 452 walks, $22,600. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Vladimir Guerrero. He's had an 0 for 3. Maybe his last at bat as an Oriole. Fouls that one off down the line in right field. Vladdy at .291, 13 homers, 63 RBIs.
Well, when the guy's that late on your fastball, and he does have a curveball, it'll be very interesting if he just stays with it. Way on the corner. No, he threw him a hook.
That one in the air, center field, going back to Ellsbury. He's got room, and he's got it. Ellsbury had a little trouble getting his footing when he started back on that ball. Slipped a little bit, but stayed with it.
Yeah, again, the great drainage here at Camden Yards. If there are any wet spots, it'd probably be by the warning track in foul territory. There, the Oriole closer, Jim Johnson.
Wieters 0 for 2 and a walk. Wieters 2 for 7 off Bard. Red Sox leading at 3-2, still 7-7, bottom of the 10th inning in Tampa Bay. Fastball will be inside to him.
And not any 1-4 velocity. That one at 98.
Here's the 1-0 delivery to him, and that's going to miss inside as well.
Yeah, it was going to be not simple, but it was going to be pretty cut and dry. You know, you're going to have Buchholz and Lester, and then you were have a really good starting staff. You're going to have Dan Wheeler. He's got forearm problems. Bobby Jenks was signed. He had back problems. He's not pitching.
That is there. And the count will go to 2-1. 3-3, 13th inning in Atlanta now. Phillies Atlanta. Atlanta lost the lead in the 9th inning. They led 3-2 at home, lost it, and so they are going extra. They've got to win in order to force a playoff game with the Cardinals tomorrow. 2-1 strike count. Wieters. And a breaking ball.
Yeah, again, being as tall as Daniel Bard is, when he gets on top and gets good tilt, that ball doesn't stay on the same plane. You can see where the target is, but it starts there, and then what do you think, about 2 feet?
A lot of movement.
Yep.
2 strike count. In the air to right field, but it's going to be in the yard, and it'll be held in by Drew. So Bard comes on and retires the side in order. Here we go to the 9th inning. Red Sox 3, the Orioles 2. Johnson to pitch. Markakis is coming out of the ball game. He's a little banged up. He'll stay and watch side of the dugout. Nolan Reimold moves from left to right, and Matt Angle will come into play in left field. And Jim Johnson will pitch.
Really ever. So again, common common practice. You bring your closer in to pitch the 9th inning, 1 run down. Of course, the top of their lineup, very formidable. Ellsbury with MVP numbers, followed by Pedroia and then Ortiz. So you hope that you can get out of this inning trailing by 1 and then maybe do some damage against Papelbon, who's getting loose for the Red Sox.
Ellsbury's had a 2 for 11 off Jim Johnson. Ellsbury is single in this game for a 13-game hit streak. We go to the 9th inning, and the pitch will be a strike to Jacoby Ellsbury. 2 RBIs, Pedroia. Scudero scoring on the block, called against Simone. Hardy a 2 RBI homer. Those are the runs. And that's going to be chopped for an 0-2 count.
Yeah, Jim Johnson has 3+ pitches. And he's got a sinker that scouts marvel and hitters marvel that he can make it sink at 94 to 97, and then the good changeup you just saw, and started him off with a curveball. Much more confident pitcher this year.
Ellsbury at 322 in the year will take the pitch inside. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. This unbelievable finish continues. 2 managers in this very competitive Eastern Division gone at it. A chopper. It's fair. It's leaders. And he got him.
Yeah, bang, bang. I'm not sure that Reynolds actually had the ball in the glove. Ron Johnson's going to say, I don't think he had it. But again, also, is he in the last 45-foot line? You have to have an angle if you're a catcher. Yes, he is. And again, this is how quick Ellsbury is. Again, no wasted motion. I'm just not sure which ball come out of Reynolds' glove.
Question whether he actually had possession.
See, it's almost into the runner. Maybe he brushes his arm, but no, I'm not sure that he really had possession of that ball.
He did a very smart thing, though. He just kind of, like he was flipping it to his bare hand rather than.
And then again, of course, if you're the first base umpire, I don't think Scott Berry could see all that. No. So he's going to say, please go ask the home plate umpire. But he lost possession of that ball. Not that it ever dropped, but again, you have to catch it, because if you don't have possession, he's safe because the ball's not been caught.
He's going to ask home plate umpire John Hirschbeck for help.
Well, Buck Showalter better be careful with his ankle. But again, unless he really saw it happen, we'd get to see it.
And they're going to call him safe. They're going to say the ball was being juggled by Reynolds. And Hirschbeck's the one who's going to make the call here.
You know, watch the ball come out of the tip of the glove. It's in the webbing. And then right here, he doesn't have control. So he's safe. Now, it's not like a fly ball. You have to have control of it when the runner hits the base, so he's safe. So they got the call right, but very rarely you get these plays overturned. And whatever John Hirschbeck's telling him, Gary, you know he's not going to be happy about it.
Hirschbeck was the only one who's going to be able to make the call because, as we said, Scott Berry, first base umpire, play was on the other side of both the first baseman and the runner.
Well, to their credit, they did get it right. At least it appeared to, from my view.
I mean, obviously, everything's important here. Yep. So a base hit for Ellsbury, and Pedroia comes up, home run, single, has walked and grounded out. In at third base, Davis. We're in the 9th inning. He does show bunt and will take it for a strike. And Terry Francona's got to decide here about, does he try and play it for 1? He's got good numbers against Johnson. He's got great speed in Ellsbury at first base. Pedroia does have a couple of sacrifices on the year. One strike count. Jim Johnson the throw over this time.
Well, yeah, you really do. I mean, 38 stolen bases over there. If Pedroia gives him up, then of course Buck Showalter will have to make a decision. Who do I want to pitch to? Do I want to walk the pitch around Ortiz to get to Gonzalez, which is no lunch in the park?
Johnson, the one strike. Pedroia did not go after it. Check it first. Pull the bat back,
which he did.
And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. 3-2. Red Sox lead, 9th inning. Still 7-7 in Tampa Bay in the 11th inning. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Not bunting there. 1-2.
Swing a little harder. Of course, he's the difference in this game with that 21st home run. Going to leave Earth again. An amazing little player. All facets of the game.
Hard swing, but it's always under control.
It really is.
Johnson out of the count. A ball and 2 strikes. Runner goes. Here's the throw by Waiters, and not in time.
Well, sooner or later, you figure the ability to run, throw a little high. It's got to be perfect to throw out Ellsbury. He's got that kind of speed.
39th stolen base for Ellsbury.
Only the
behind Brett Gardner.
Only the 3rd in the month of September.
Now Pedroia gets the RBI chance. There's nobody out.
He'd love to get a ball to the right side. He can do it so well.
Here's the 2-2 delivery. Pedroia will pop it up towards the seats, and a foul ball. Philly leads Atlanta 4-3. Bottom of the 13th. Unless Atlanta can come back, they will have the greatest September fall in the history of baseball, and the St. Louis Cardinals will be the wild card team in the National League. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Pedroia will fight it off. David Ortiz on deck. Two balls, 2 strikes. Pretty good secondary lead. Ellsbury, little roller, hit him in the batter's box.
Now you got some idea of again the ability to hang in there that Pedroia has. Swing that hard, yet on that kind of curveball still flick it foul so he can get maybe a better pitch to hit.
Matt Waiters is taller than Dustin Pedroia when he's on 2 knees.
Well, maybe if he straightened his back, yeah, he might be. Well, he's not a big guy. He's just a terrific player.
Here's the 2-2 look back to second base to get Ellsbury back.
Well, and again, if you're sitting at home and you want to play baseball, you don't have to be 6'3" or 6 feet. I don't know, what do you think he is? 5'6", 5'7"?
Yep.
Doesn't really matter, especially if you're a middle infielder. And yet he can hit home runs, and he can win a Gold Glove, and can be the MVP of the American League.
2-2 delivery. That's going to be a base hit into right field. Reimold up. They'll hold the runner at third into the cutoff man.
And he can do that.
And the Red Sox first and third, 9th inning with nobody out. Visit the official online shop of the Orioles, Orioles.com. Official Cavs, T-shirts, jerseys, 24/7. The Orioles.com shop. Buck Showalter will make his way out. Runners at first and third. 3-2 lead. That's 11 hits in the game for Boston.
Well, we've talked all about it. I don't know if he's going to go make a change, but you do have, if he was up, of course, but again, he's your closer, so how do you want to play it? Ortiz with, again, pretty good numbers, 3 for 9 off of Jim Johnson.
Decisions made.
And the problem is you have a great hitter at the plate, but you also have such speed at first and third.
David Ortiz hit into a double play in the third inning when Pedroia was on at first base. Now runners at first and third. The infield will move in. They will try and cut this run down. Ortiz will have to wait as Pedroia gets back to the bag.
Let's see, they're playing in at second. Hardy's in double play position. But again, the Red Sox would love to add a run or two or more here.
Ortiz, 2 singles, a walk. There's the walk. Oh my gosh. Wow, doggy, almost. The play that never works almost worked. And Jacoby Ellsbury.
See, he stepped off the rubber. And it's usually a fake to third and go to first. It was a reverse of that.
David Ortiz waiting, and the pitch is inside for a ball. Pedroia watching. Bogart, the Tim Bogart third base coach, relaying signs. The infield will stay in. Here's the 1-0 delivery, and Ortiz takes that inside, and he goes to 2-0.
Yeah, if you're thinking strikeouts, it's a little bit tougher to do it when you get to 2-0. Especially Ortiz, he's so selective. And it all started with a reverse call at first. He got it right, but infield hit by Ellsbury.
2-0 delivery. Ortiz fouls it back. A 2-ball, 1-strike count. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Nobody out here. Orioles want to cut this run down on a ground ball. Ellsbury, the lead runner. Pedroia back to first. Playoff tension, as the Red Sox do not know what the outcome is going to be in Tampa Bay, where it's still 7-7. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and that's down low, 3-1. Gonzalez waiting on deck.
Yeah, nice little changeup, but again, a guy that knows what he wants to hit when he gets ahead in the count, and David Ortiz.
See if he comes after him here. He did.
Yeah, 97 with great movement. The ball starts on the plate, which is why Ortiz swings it. Watch this ball run left to right. A good 5-6 inches. Incredible stuff from Jim Johnson. All year long.
3-2, nobody out. Runners off first and third. Infield stays in. Ortiz. That is a fair ball. Look to second. Whoa, they got the runner at second base. Almost catching Hardy off guard. Wieters looked down, saw he had room to get Pedroia, and did. So now first and third and 1 away.
Yeah, it sets up the double play. I mean, this is what Matt Wieters, this is why you make Gold Glove decisions. Well, again, the play in front of you, that's why catchers turn into be managers in a lot of cases. So a nice throw, a little bit high. But again, Ellsbury, because there's only 1 out, he stays at third.
Joey Gathright will come on and be the pinch runner for David Ortiz. Ortiz is out of there. Now first and third, 1 out. Gonzalez, a single, 2 intentional walks, and a fielder's choice. And that'll be up high for a ball. 1 for 6 for Adrian Gonzalez off Jim Johnson.
Well, again, if Veritek can't catch and Saltalamacchia got hit in the collarbone, you still cannot give in.
They're not good.
Yeah, you know, I just think that you have to pitch to LaBarnway. Now, maybe they'll pinch hit Drew behind him. But that's, I mean, this is the kind of respect that Adrian Gonzalez has earned.
The third intentional pass of the game will be surrendered to Gonzalez. Congratulations to the St. Louis Cardinals. They are the wild card team in the National League.
Tony La Russa and the boys.
Philadelphia in Atlanta tied it up in the 9th inning and came back to win it in extra innings. Well, the Cardinals out of nowhere are in Philly 4, Atlanta 3. While the Cardinals beat Houston 8-0.
And the Rays had runners at first and second with 2 outs in the 11th. In a tie game.
What a finish. Ellsbury. Gathright Gonzalez. Slow roller. Play's going to be 1. They got to get 2. They do! The Orioles turn the double play. Congratulations, Patricia Hall from Deal. You've won another $1,000 from the Maryland Lottery double play contest. It's the bottom of the ninth. Red Sox bullpen has been outstanding against the Orioles this year. They are 5-2 with a 2.7 ERA against the O's. Here we go. Adam Jones, a single. He is 1 for 3. 3 for 10 off Papelbon.
Well, if your adrenaline's not pumping now, it never is. And again, better in the postseason. Pretty much what it's all about here. Can you throw strikes and can you relax in doing that? Make the ball move.
Here's the 0-1 delivery to Jones. He'll take it down low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, the first 23 pitches he threw last night were fastballs. And then he would eventually get the ground out to end the game on a slider.
One delivery on the way. That's going to be a pile and a 2 ball, 1 strike count.
Boy, is that firm.
The Orioles were able to work last night. The counts deep against Papelbon, even though he would win the ultimate battle, giving up a run on 2 hits in the 9th inning. The Orioles got the leadoff man on last night in Hardy against him. Now Jones is trying to do that tonight. Jones, Reynolds, and Davis are due up. Papelbon with a 2-1 delivery. Jones, a towering pop-up. Conway coming back will not have a play. 2-2. Here's an update on the AT&T voting for the player of the game. You can still text in your vote ABFC 51862. Results on the O's Extra post-game show. Alfredo Simon on the right. He started the ball game. Did a very credible job. Vladimir Guerrero looking on, maybe the last time in an Oriole uniform. Two balls, 2 strikes. Adam Jones will go down swinging.
Yeah, he throws the 2-seamer. And gets it to dive. So high, and then right here underneath change of speeds. Even though it's 91, it's Adam out in front. That and the good movement.
One down.
The one thing about Jonathan Papelbon, he usually makes you earn your ways on. He doesn't walk a whole lot of guys.
Reynolds has faced him only a couple of times, 0 for 2. Mark has been hit by a pitch. He's doubled and thrown out at the plate in the 5th inning and is hit into a double play. One down. And that's a strike. Still 7-7. 12th inning, top of the 12th. Yankees, Tampa Bay. Gut-wrenching time for both Tampa Bay and Boston. Trying to get to the wild card spot. If they both win, they'll have a playoff game tomorrow in Tampa Bay. Here's the 0-1 delivery.
Yeah, they played the Rays at home a little bit better, 2-7 on Fenway, and then 4-5 down there. And then on the year, if they do go play Texas, they were 4-6.
Reynolds waiting. Here's the 1-1 delivery to him, and they're not going to catch up with the heater.
Not on the outside black. A little black edge around the plate, and that's where that ball ended up at 97. The one thing about Jonathan Papelbon, you don't see the ball. He starts with a closed stance. He hides the ball behind him. So you couple the fact that he's got great velocity and he's got movement because he's got a couple of pitches, and then you just don't pick it up. And he's got the look. And watch him close his front shoulder.
And the 1-2 delivery on the way. And he got him.
Wow. Here, hit it. Riding fastball. You can see the Red Sox fans in the background on their feet. And the Yankees have first and third and nobody out down in Tampa.
Two down, 9th inning. Chris Davis. 0 for 2 and a walk in the game. In the air to right field. That's into the corner. That will be a base hit. J.D. Drew bouncing around. He's going to try for 2. Here's the relay. Not in time. Skips away. Backed up by Aviles. The Orioles get the potential tying run to second with 2 down.
Well, overpowers the first 2 guys. Again, he gets it right where the glove is. Chris Davis is waiting. And you think Drew's going to make it close, and he does. Plays it well. And Davis easily in as the ball skips by.
Davis has had a really good series. So can the Orioles do it with 2 away? That's what we're going to find out right now. Hudson has come on to pinch run.
Well, you got one of your hottest hitters. Pretty good fastball hitter too. And Nolan Reimold. And with 2 outs, you're going on contact. Very difficult to throw somebody with the speed of Kyle Hudson out at the plate.
A play way off the line at first, figuring he's going to pull the ball if he hits it on the ground. Gonzalez giving him a lot of room.
Yeah, a lot of teams will protect the line, but I've always thought probably better off playing where you think he's going to hit it.
Hit by a pitch, fielder's choice couple of times, runs scored. Reimold 2 down, 9th inning. 3-2 Boston. And up high for a ball.
And if you will leave one, if you get it down, and I don't mean let her high, but you bring it on the inside middle, all of a sudden Reimold becomes a very powerful hitter. Another night in Detroit, 431-foot home run.
Nolan 1 for 6 off Papelbon.
And you got to look fastball. He's throwing that hard.
Big lead at second base for Hudson. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Reimold outside, 2-0. Davis, who got the double. Here's the 2-0 delivery. Reimold, 2-1. No one can say the Orioles did not play this season to the whatever the end is going to be. They played it all the way
to the hilt.
2-ball, 1-strike count. Base hit to tie this game up. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Reimold missed it. 2-2.
When the Red Sox get to the postseason, you're going to see this. I mean, this is my best against your best swing. And Papelbon for the 6th straight years, 30 or more saves. Eric Bedard looking on there.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Runner at second. Papelbon's delivery. Reimold in the air, right center field. Nobody's going to catch it. Ball go up and over. The Orioles got it. They've tied this game up. Nolan Reimold, 2 down. Behind in the count. 9th inning. It's 3-3.
Talking today, to be a better hitter, I got to do what I did last night. Use the whole field off the scoreboard last night. In the middle of the plate, 98 miles per hour ground rule double, and it's not over. Talk about a huge hit for the Red Sox nation.
Papelbon has blown the save. We go on. Now a base hit, and the Orioles can win it.
And the irony is Andino, he beat Papelbon just last week with a triple down the right field line with the bases loaded. Sliced it just inside the foul line.
That is the one hit he has off Papelbon, 1 for 3. Nolan Reimold, the RBI. He is at second base. 3-3 ball game. Up high for a ball. Papelbon falling away.
Yeah, a little slider. And the amazing thing in that game in Boston, Gary, He got ahead of an 0-2, never went to a breaking ball. Andino saw about 8 fastballs, finally sliced one down the line fair.
Delivery on the way. That's their first strike. Applebaum gets it 1-1. Very slow play in Tampa Bay. They are still in the top of the 12th, tied at 7-7. Can you hear the baseball gods laughing? Here's the 1-1 delivery. That is it.